as much as you could give. Never worry about tomorrow till it came and said goodbye. But today you wonder why. Like a crow on a June bug, chances are slim. Sometimes you come out even, but this time you just can't win. Hard times are coming this way, better gather up all your pride. Like a crow on a June bug, there's a devil right by your side.
Hello and welcome to another episode of The Grindbin. I'm Mike Wood.
I'm Bobby Trippett.
And I'm Michael Tanner, and I'm real mad at you two.
What? Oh my god.
Oh, listeners, as you may know, I am also an occasional guest and a member of the Patreon.
He's a daywalker.
Guess what I get in my email? Oh, a new episode has been posted early for Patreon members. That movie is 2019, After the Fall of New York, an episode I wanted to be on, but
God.
I am not on that episode, and how dare you, sirs? How dare you? I am a huge fan of 2019, After the Fall of New York. The goddamn cover of Strike Team Codename Diamond Force, the Grindbin-inspired movie, is an homage to the movie poster of that movie. And how the fuck am I not on that episode, guys?
Mike.
This is all Bobby's fault, so.
Fuck.
Hey, whoa. I have nothing to do with the inner workings of this show. I'm just on-air talent. You gotta talk to Mike.
And today we're talking about 1973's 16.
Get this big tin boogle off of my lawn.
Hey, Bobby, I got the money.
Yeah, I made the team. But you're a hooker.
Get that goddamn thing out of your mouth.
Spooky got no real rhythm. We're gonna play a little game, baby.
I just love funny games. Get a little girl all hot and horny.
This is Los Angeles.
Oh, the hell with women's live. I'm horny. And maybe Daddy would have had to kill himself because he couldn't get it up anymore. What a shame.
It's for jacking off. Come on, just step on the gas before we get green. And
So guys, we're here talking about 16, which is a movie that was requested by Patreon member Robbie Robertson.
All right.
Hey,
Robbie.
Thank you, Robbie. Why you picked this movie, I don't know. But we're going to talk about it today. And guys...
Robbie Robertson, who doesn't like us much.
Yeah, so how many pages of notes we all got for this one? Because usually, like, I'm just going to tell you guys, I'm usually at about 15 pages of notes for me. Between cast, crew, and movie notes.
Well, I did handwritten notes, and I got to about 4 pages.
I am at 2.5.
Okay.
But I write very small.
So me, who usually gets 14, I'm at 4.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't think this is going to be a short one, though. We've got a lot to talk about.
Oh, boy.
There's a lot to unpack in this movie.
Yeah, so the director of this movie, Lawrence Dobkin, really successful character actor, actually, with 212 credits.
Wow.
And appearances in big movies like The Ten Commandments, Patton, all sorts of big movies. He has 81 directing credits. So this guy is, like, prolific in the industry, but just tons and tons and tons of TV. This is like one of the only movies he ever made. He's directed episodes of Munsters, Gilligan's Island, Mod Squad, many, many more.
Oh, well, that explains why this felt so much like those things.
Yeah, like an episode of Gilligan's Island. You know that one where Gilligan slept with a 16-year-old? And Skipper was like, oh, Gilligan.
Oh, little buddy. How does a 16-year-old end up on that island? I don't know.
Well, how'd a rock band end up? You know, Gilligan's Island, it's a real enigma.
Globetrotters above that island.
You know... It's kind of interesting. Maybe Gilligan's Island is like a Lost type of situation, and they just never explored that fully.
Oh, that's definitely been explored by fan theories and whatnot.
I'm sure
they're
there
all
is,
dead
but-
on Gilligan's Island. My fan theory is that they're all dead but Gilligan. And and he's hallucinating all of them.
It's a Gilligan ladder type scenario.
I got like Swiss Army Man. He's just alone on an island,
Oh, God.
manipulating the skipper's
Just
body.
Skipper's farting corpse laying
All
next to
day,
him.
Skipper farting.
Oh man, the last episode of Gilligan's Island when he rides that farting corpse of Skipper through the ocean.
That's how he gets off the island?
Yeah. I loved it. As a kid, I really did enjoy that show. I've never watched it since, but I don't know how I'd feel about it now.
It holds up. It's still very
Seems
good.
like mini bin
silly
material
fun,
to
yeah.
me. I don't know.
My wife and I, along with a mutual friend and listener/contributor Julie Siegler, recently did a Gilligan's Island group cosplay at a con we went to.
Oh, yes. You can, I think, did you share that on the Grindbin
I
social
didn't,
media,
but I
or
could.
just personal? Okay.
Anyone wants to
Yeah.
hear that when this drops, I'll drop that on our social media.
Just go, this is from months ago, but here you go. So, guys, this was from what I can tell, only theatrically released movie that he ever did. He did a few TV movies, which makes sense when you go through this movie. Like, this is definitely a TV type of movie where they're just like,
Except for a couple scenes.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but
And general thematic elements. Actually, no, this should never be aired. This should never be seen by human eyes.
2 writers, only credits, which is Jim Lowe, who has the story credit, and Brown Taylor. I don't think that's their real names, but that's what they're credited as.
Or this
Brown-
was purely autobiographical, and they only had this one story to tell.
Yeah,
and they
so
told the story, and then they were done.
Real
Curtis
passion project.
Yeah.
Maybe Curtis Brown Taylor was actually Brover or whatever his name is.
Curtis Brover Taylor?
Yeah, it sounded like, by the way, we'll get into it with the name Brover. It just felt like, because this family is so poor and weird, that they were like, yeah, his name's Brother. And they said it
But
so
they have no idea how to
fucked up.
spell it.
Yeah. So we get into the cast, guys. Simone, is it Griffith?
I think it's
I
Griffith.
think so. Simone Griffith.
Wait, we don't know?
Who play? No, I'm just trying to pronounce it. Is Naomi, who plays the 16-year-old in this movie.
Titular character.
Yeah, the titular character, 16 is her name.
May have the fewest lines in the movie.
Yeah, and she is also nowhere near 16 when she filmed this movie. She was like
Absolutely not.
23.
And I'm glad of this.
Yeah, oh, thank God. But, they dressed her younger, I guess, so it passes fine.
She
But
could
I was
read.
very relieved to know that she was not anywhere close to that age. Because when you start to get into the first 20 minutes, you're like, oh, boy, it's one of these. She's naked. Oh, God.
Yeah.
But, yeah, this is definitely like the, let's get them in, everybody's curious. No, they're not.
No.
No, they're not.
Maybe they were back then, but not nowadays.
No. 51 credits for Simone. Bobby, she made her film debut in 1971, Swamp Girl, and then did this movie. But in 1975, she's in one of your favorite movies of all time.
One of my all-time favorite movies. She is the lead in Roger Corman's Death Race 2000.
Yep, Annie Smith.
Absolutely. Surely to be a future Grindbin episode.
Oh, yeah. So we'll
Isn't
get
it
back
too
to Simone.
good for Grindbin, though.
No.
All right.
Good.
It absolutely isn't too good.
What? It's the best.
I mean, we've covered better movies than that.
Have you, though?
Yeah, Ms. 45.
Oh,
Yeah,
all
you
right,
wouldn't
fair.
argue that's better?
Fair.
But she's still working today, actually.
Great news.
And she's got a lot of stuff. 1981 Delusion, 1985 Hot Target, 1986 The Patriot, 2007 Bad Girl Island.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's not what you think it is.
Of course not.
But yeah, no, she's prolific. So we'll probably get more into Simone's background in Death Race. But for now, yeah, she's the 16-year-old with 5 lines. in this film, so.
She is here to chew bubblegum and get naked, and she's out of bubblegum.
Yep. Mercedes McCambridge, who plays Ma, 66 credits. Was an
Oscar-winning actress.
Oscar-winning actress for 1949, Best Supporting Actress in All the King's Men. And she was nominated again for Best Actress in 1956's Giant. She was a member of the Orson Welles Mercury Theater. And so Mercedes had quite the career.
Yeah, incredibly prolific, and also connects to something near and dear to our hearts. When she provided the voice for Linda Blair in The Exorcist. She is the voice of Pazuzu.
Yes.
Which I understand she managed to achieve by eating a bunch of raw eggs and chain smoking.
Her entire life.
Yeah, her entire life, yeah. I was going to say, just for that movie, I don't know. She looks like she's doing that in this movie.
Yeah.
So apparently during the filming of Johnny Guitar in 1954, she and Joan Crawford, who was the star of that movie, fought both on and off the set.
Which is odd, because Joan Crawford famously got along with
She
everybody.
got along with everybody.
Well,
she was
not
a friend
Mercedes.
to women and children and small animals everywhere.
Somehow rubbed Joan Crawford the wrong way.
Must have been her fault.
Yeah.
One night in a drunken rage, Joan Crawford scattered the costumes worn by McCambridge along an Arizona highway. And the cast and crew had to go collect those.
Yikes.
She was just trying to add some authentic dirt and
Yeah.
patina to the outfits.
She wouldn't do that for just anybody.
Yeah.
Really? So Joan Crawford, not known as an angry, raging drunk.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
not at all.
She loved Pepsi. I know that. She
Oh,
did
okay.
love Pepsi.
So, we'll take Joan's word instead of Mercedes, I guess. Huh?
Probably for the best.
She was originally not credited Bobby for her voice work in The Exorcist.
That's odd.
After William Friedkin assured her that she would be.
And you have an Oscar winner doing this, and you don't want to talk about it.
Well, we'll get into it. But Appeal to her Screen Actors Guild rectified this matter, and a new print of the film was made with her name in the credits. Because originally, now this is the thing, they wanted to like push Linda Blair for the Academy Award, which I believe she got nominated for. It definitely didn't win. But they kind of fudged how much Linda was involved in The Exorcist, and this is a pretty infamous thing, is like the voice, they're like, oh no, and then nobody else was doing it. And then also there was a stunt double that did like over half of Linda's scenes in makeup.
That's for the best.
Yeah, but that lady never got credit for a long time.
Jesus
and
Christ, Friedkin.
You can hear a lot of interviews with her where she's pretty fucking pissed about it.
Well, sure, wouldn't you be?
Yeah, and she was like, well, if Linda wins that Academy Award, I also should get that award.
She was going to run up on stage.
Yeah, she's going to pull a Conway.
Well,
Kanye,
I mean,
the original Kanye.
A Conway? Yeah. She's gonna ride out
Tim Conway.
with shoes on her knees.
Love him.
Yeah. She's going to do a Dorf.
That would have been kind of funny. She does like Dorf Exorcist.
Dorf on Oscars.
You don't think like back then
Dorf
they had,
does Satanism?
You know, in that time period, it was a little before Dorf, but I could see during the Dorf heyday where they're like, hey, Tim, you want to go on stage for the Oscars, pretend you're like some actor?
Oh, I can see that for like the Screen Actors Guild.
Oh, having
sure.
a guy
Or
come out and
daytime
lower
Emmys.
the microphone
Daytime
for
Emmys.
him?
Yeah, that would be like for the Carol Burnett show. He'd come out, you know, because he was on that. Do his little Dorf act or
You know,
something.
the target demographic goes to bed pretty early. We can't do it.
Yeah. Can you bring the Hitler puppet, Tim? We'd really love it. So, but Bobby, Mercedes also had a horrible thing happen in her past.
An unbelievable tragedy happened. Mercedes' son, apparently, due to years of bitterness about his mother, I had read, one night, everyone bring it in, this is going to get kind of a downer, put on an old Halloween mask and murdered his entire family and then killed himself.
Yeah. He was also...
And apparently blamed his mother for why he did it.
Well, he was also embezzling money from his mom.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was like a huge thing, so...
She had an interesting response to that. I don't have the words written down, but she had people had asked her about it, and she described it as being just a thing that happened. Like it's she was like, it's like a Greek tragedy.
Well, that happened.
Yeah, she likened it to a Greek tragedy and said, and the curtain fell on that. So
and then
it's a thing that happened, and it's over now.
She grabbed a broom and chased the press off.
That's it. But she was weirdly, I don't want to say chill about it, obviously, but she was. The calm she had about what had happened was really...
So they're like, Mercedes, what about your son? And she goes, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So he did that.
It's that guy that murdered people, right?
Do we know what mask he put on?
No, we don't.
Ooh, dead air.
I was waiting for a joke.
There's no joke. I was just curious. Like,
oddly enough, a Linda Blair Exorcist mask.
Oh, God.
So it was a Ben Cooper style mask, or was it a rubber
I thought you were going to
mask?
do some sort of...
with the elastic band.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to do like some sort of Halloween joke or something. No.
Well, no. I mean, a fair number of this cast, I think, was also in one of the Halloween movies.
Halloween
So you
3,
just... well, there you go. Halloween 3,
Yeah,
right?
the one about the masks.
But murder-suicide, not funny. Let's move forward.
So you did a real Hughes there where you set up a punchline and then never
I
followed
didn't
through.
intend to set up a punchline. I was just curious about more information.
All right, so Ford Rainey, who plays Pa Ertley, 180 credits.
Jesus.
Yeah, apparently he was in every TV series ever. I'm serious.
Yeah, I
like
just looked at that
everything.
IMDb, and I'm like, that is every show.
Yep. 310 to Yuma, he was in that. He was also in Halloween 2 as Dr. Mixta.
Dr. Minks?
Yeah. Trivia for this movie. Oh, wait. Did you have anybody else you wanted to mention for the cast? Because you said Brover had not done anything else. Uh-oh. Grindbin All-Star Beverly Powers, who plays Carmelita the Dancing Girl. Bobby, what did she appear in?
She's in Invasion of the Bee-Girls.
Yeah, all the way back at like episode 13 from our good patron, Dr. Faustus, who said he's going to join us one day, which will be fun.
Sweet.
Yeah, for a
Doctor's
mini-bin.
making a house call.
Oh, hell yeah. And he's the one who brought us that one, and now she's back as probably the best character in this movie.
Certainly has the most lines.
Certainly has the most idea that she's in a fucking movie.
Yeah.
Because everybody else is like, are we acting? Or
Is this our real life?
Yeah. What's going on? So the trivia for this movie, guys, an alternative title in the USA, because, by the way, this was only released theatrically in North Dakota, apparently. North Dakota, as I always say,
cool with this sort of thing.
Yeah, as I always say, North Dakota and prisons across the country. So federal pens were getting their copy of 16, where the boys thought they were gonna get a little, and then they're like, "What the fuck am I watching? It's got feelings in it." The alternative title was The Young Prey.
The Young Prey.
Yeah,
I feel like that's a much better title.
and then the other alternate title, which is way worse, is Like a Crow on a June Bug.
Yeah, I got a lot of thoughts on that phrase. A lot of thoughts.
Okay, let's hear them.
Oh, all right. We'll go. So the theme song of this movie is "Like a Crow on a June Bug," which is not a phrase that makes any sense because a June bug is a bug and a crow is a bird that is much bigger than a June bug.
Yeah.
So the June bug would be on the crow, unless you're going for kind of some sort of artsy thing about
Predator on the Prey.
Yeah.
It's mentioned in dialogue as well.
Is it? I missed it in the
Yeah,
dialogue.
a character does mention it, and that's where we get our theme song. And they're talking about preying upon a June bug.
Oh, is this
Like a
one of the
crow
lines
coming
that
down
Crow
on a June
bug. It's
Is
a
this-
bear with bear badoo.
Yeah, it's not.
one of the lines that's just mumbled in this movie?
Yeah.
Because, by the way,
Crow on a June bug.
listeners, if you're gonna watch this movie, 2 times speed is just fine. However, everybody mumbles through the whole fucking thing, so it's just.
And if you're watching on YouTube, don't bother with the closed captioning because it is bonkers.
Yeah, Bobby was sending us some screenshots that were pretty amazing.
It's insane.
Yeah. Either the YouTube algorithm or some crazy man was writing all that. So,
I like to believe that it was an AI. It was the algorithm just like listening to the movie and it was like, no, filling in the closed captioning.
usually it is. So unless
Really?
you submit it yourself, yes.
I did not know that. Learned something new.
Maybe we should listen to a Grindbin and see what the closed captioning are.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah, so that song is awful. There's a lot of awful
You no
folk
doubt
ballad
heard it at
songs.
the beginning of this
Yeah.
episode.
Oh, for sure. And then
will
also,
again.
guys, you're going to hear the trailer right now. Let's take a listen.
How old are you, little baby?
16.
16. She learned everything the hard way.
Childlike and innocent, a boy, a girl, untouched, pure, thrust into a hard and painful world, threatened, ravaged, and seduced.
Professional? You're a professional makeout artist.
Academy Award winner Mercedes McCambridge in her most powerful role.
I don't know you, boy. She tried to kill me.
Now you get back to wherever you belong.
16. She learned everything the hard way.
So we get in the movie, guys. And this
Wait,
is,
I gotta do my bit of trivia from the trailer.
Okay, let's go. Ready?
If you just listen to the trailer, which you did, the voice at the beginning and at the end of that trailer might sound familiar to you if you are a fan of 80s cartoon shows, because that is the voice of Duke from G.I. Joe.
Yes.
Nice. And Bobby said he might return soon. So
Yeah.
we'll see. But we get in the movie, guys, and, you know, this is the rousing way you want to start. And my idea that this was definitely packaged as a double feature, and this was the second movie, because this is the one where it's like, look, you can go. We already got your money, but
Yeah.
you're in for a long slog, because here's how we start this movie. 5 minutes of a truck driving down a country road.
It's not a
5
truck driving.
fucking
It's a horse
minutes.
pulling a cart.
Oh,
Yeah.
no. We get there. First, we watch a fucking truck, and then it goes through a gate, and
Yep.
then all of a sudden you see, like, a construction, like some sort of bulldozer thing. Then you see the horse and buggy.
Okay.
Yeah. 5 minutes, Bobby, of a
Yeah.
fucking truck,
We're
and then
in the
somebody...
full form of like a crow on a June bug.
Oh,
Like
this,
a crow on a June bug.
This is when I'm watching it going, yep, I'm watching 2 movies tonight, and I started with this, and here we go.
Power through.
And you watch it in real time as a man gets out of a truck, lifts a gate, drives through. Then
There's so much runtime in this movie.
And I assume that the construction is supposed to be... Actually, no, it's not. It's not the Carnival.
No, it's the.
So what the
It's them
fuck-
building the highway, which is
Okay, so they're building the highway.
They're establishing that this family, this is Hicksploitation. They're
Yeah.
establishing that this Hick family are not with the times. That they were living out in the woods on their own.
Now, by not with the times, you mean not of the century?
No,
because
they're a lost tribe in the shrubs.
Is this supposed to take place in like modern day, as in 1973?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
It absolutely. When we meet Carmelita and we meet Jake, it is clear that this is taking place now.
This family rides around in a horse and buggy. Not even a buggy, like a wagon.
It's a wagon. But do note that the wagon does have truck axles. So they're at least up.
That's how I knew they
So they're
weren't
hypocrites.
Amish.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, they're either Mennonite or just weirdos.
I think they're just weirdos.
Yeah.
Fucking hillbillies.
But they're heading into town and everyone's staring like it's Inception.
Oh, well, they should be, because these people are fucking straight out of Hills Have Eyes style. But even then, I think the Hills Have Eyes people were a little more modern
These
than
people
this.
fell out of a Steinbeck book.
They really did.
Yeah, we got
thank God this didn't end the same way as one of...
Like, Ma should have been in a coffin the whole time.
It could have very easily ended the same way as Grapes of Wrath.
You know, I could definitely see that.
Wow.
And if you don't know how that ends, go check it out, you know?
I
they
was
cut
very
that out of
confused
the
about
movie.
it. Yeah, they did.
Which I thought was an interesting twist, you know, because everybody's waiting for it. They're like, the credits are rolling.
Oh.
Ah, well then.
So if you
Fuck
don't
me,
know
I
how
guess.
the book version of Grapes of Wrath ends, go ahead and look that up.
Yeah, or just listen to our Mind Trap episode, because it references very similar actions, so...
Oh, yeah. Yes.
But it's not out of poverty. It's out of pleasure, I guess.
But we get our first bit of actual dialogue as these people roll into town. Is one of the passersby,
Andy Kaufman.
Andy Kaufman,
Oh
turns
my
and
God.
says, "What the hell are they gonna do with $8,000?"
Okay, so here's the go. That's when you know we're in modern day, because a man's in a car, like gets out of his car, looks at those hillbillies and goes, what the hell are they going to do with $8,000? We're like, so what the...
Yeah, what are they gonna
Yeah, I was
do?
like, well, I don't know. I know I have to like pay off a credit card. What? But I ran $8,000 into an inflation calculator, and that is the equivalent of about $40,000 in
Not
today's
bad.
money.
Holy
Not bad.
shit.
Bad.
Not bad.
For a family that wouldn't know what to do with money if they had any,
Yep.
that's not bad at all.
Well, they still don't know what to do with it.
Right.
Because their solution for it is bizarre. So, basically, they're in town, right? And, by the way, credits for fucking minutes when they're just going through the town with their horse and carriage. And then we got, like, nature shots and that song, and it goes on forever.
Like a crow on a
Yeah,
June
Chester
bug.
got nothing on these credits.
Yeah. So then finally, they're talking to some bank man.
Wait, so they go into the town's, apparently it's the barbershop / bank,
Yeah.
Yeah,
which
slash
very
tire
convenient. Very convenient.
You know, it was very convenient. Yesterday, I got my hair cut at a barbershop, and it made
In
a
a bank?
deposit.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was actually right next to a Bank of America, so that's kind of funny. They could have shared a door, you know?
Just knock that wall down, man.
Yeah. I did apply for a loan while I was getting my hair cut, you know?
Man, going to
Very.
those
Wait, that's
fancy hair places.
expensive haircut.
I mean, I don't mean to insult you, but it ain't worth. I
Oh, it wasn't for the haircut.
It's a
That's
fine
for
haircut
personal
that
reasons.
you have right now, but I wouldn't take a loan out for it.
Well, you know, thanks a lot, Bobby.
Fuck
You
do I know?
I was
got
trying to,
number
I was trying to impress you guys, you know?
I'm impressed.
Yeah, you're looking
that
good.
you spent so much money for
You're
no
looking clean.
reason.
Whoa!
Whoa.
Oh man.
Hey, you know, it's
Snap.
LA. You get a haircut, it costs $8,000. So, so they're talking to this bank man who probably is also the barber. And he's like,
Mr.
something about
Barber.
how they got to sell their house because the government needs it.
It's
No,
like-
no.
You got this?
I got this.
Okay.
So this is how this $8,000 is coming into their possession. So the state of Georgia, because we established that this takes place in the state of Georgia, is using essentially eminent domain to take part of their land
Yeah.
to build the new freeway or the new highway. And the state's going to pay them the $8,000. But there's a great bit of
Which is why we had construction earlier.
yeah, we saw the construction. There's a bit of ADR that helps explain it, and it's very strange because the voice does not sound like anyone else in that scene. That explains that the property being taken is nowhere near their house, so they're not actually going to be affected in any way other than losing some small corner of their property.
That they're not even using.
They're not even
Yeah,
using.
yeah.
So that's how they're going to get some $8,000.
I mean,
and
you
that
can
the
imagine.
aforementioned property had been condemned due to lack of cooperation from the party.
Yeah.
Which means that they tried contacting these hicks, and these hicks did not respond.
I mean, you could imagine that the, distributor of this movie, he's given the money, he's also the producer, a Crown-style situation where he's like, all right, so we got this movie, there's going to be, it's the Hicksploitation, also the young girl thing where the guys want to see a 16-year-old. So what do you got for me? And then he screens the first 10 minutes like, what the fuck am I watching?
What is this, a land deal?
He's like, what the
Otisburg.
fuck? These fucking hicks going into a goddamn barbershop bank getting a loan or some shit? What the fuck am I watching? Where's the girl getting naked?
Man, and then over in the proper theaters, you're watching Superman, and they're talking about fucking land deals.
And so you can just see
Land deals were very prominent in the 70s.
It was all about
Yeah.
the land deals.
You know
Real
what?
estate.
Add in some ADR line because nobody understands this shit. Also, something about them calling their son Jesus Christ.
No,
What the
Oh,
fuck?
wait. Don't jump so far ahead, man.
easy,
This is
Mike.
gold.
Easy,
Well,
Mr. Crown.
Quit
getting ahead of
rushing
himself.
us.
In order to be able to finish this, they need to fill out every family member's names on the deed. So they need the children's names. And we start going over everybody. They say their names are brother, Naomi,
And the
JC.
guy's like brother. No, brother.
And the guy's like, all right, what's his Christian name? You know, what's his God-given name? And they say, well, his name's Lonnie Yule.
Which I don't know how you get brubber out of Lonnie and Yule.
And they just say, we just call him brother.
Brother.
And he's like, why? They're like,
I don't. And this is, I don't want to breeze past too much of the parents being the most stony faced depression era. Like,
Well, the thing is that
sad
Mercedes
dirt
taking
folk.
this fucking Orson Welles style. She's taking this role damn serious.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, but
she's
also,
like in Grapes of Wrath,
her
like you're saying, from a
face
Steinbeck
does
novel.
not move.
Oh, no.
Her mouth kind of slits open to get sounds out, and then otherwise she's a mannequin.
The problem is that Mercedes is giving an Oscar type of performance
Is
for
she?
a movie that doesn't need it.
She
No,
seems medicated in this.
No, she really was
I
like
think
going
she's
all
doing
the way.
hardcore. And this is like the weird thing with the names. So we get brother and then Naomi.
And they
like
go,
out of the Bible.
A biblical reference? Or mm-hmm. And then JC, and he's like, is that also a biblical reference? She says, no. And there's a pause, like she doesn't want to say.
This is great.
And then she goes, after J.C. Penney, there was a sale the week I birthed.
And this is where I'm confused as the tone of this movie. Because that is a very funny bit.
Yeah.
But they play it so deadpan. Where I'm like, that was really funny.
That's again-
But am I supposed to be laughing? Because they're serious. They just played it
Mercedes'
so serious.
performance is too serious for this movie. She's like in a completely different movie thinking, oh, this is like Oscar bait,
Yeah.
not
Also,
jail bait.
They
And-
rolled up to a J.C. Penney in a fucking wheelbarrow or whatever. You know, like when did they go to J.C. Penney? Why are she getting the sale ads?
Yeah, it would have made more sense for
Like, wait a minute, I thought
for
you guys lived in the
Sears,
dirt.
If she named him Sears,
Wouldn't it be like Roebuck?
yeah,
at
a
that point?
Roebuck? Oh, that's his name should have been Bucky, named after Sears
call him
Roebuck.
Buck.
We call him Buck.
Yeah, but
Because
no,
that
the-
would have been a
the-
catalog. But
The joke is because it should be JC, like because everybody else is named after a Christian.
But only Naomi
like a Bible.
is, because Brubber's just
like
named
Saint
after
Brother.
some
Well,
guy
but-
named Yule and some guy named Lonnie.
Like old family members. No, it was
Wait,
just like people they like.
You don't remember Yule in the Bible?
No, I do not.
Yeah, he's the guy who brought the log.
Yeah. That's
You
where you
go
get
to hell for
Yule
that
on.
joke.
No, I'm serious.
Dude, that joke's not even on the list of why I'm going to hell.
So yeah, it was
yeah.
like clearly like a Bible joke, and Mercedes didn't deliver it as a joke. She just kind of goes, "Yeah, we gotta tell you."
Yeah,
But she's like really Boomhauer in this shit.
but like Boomhauer, but super slowed down.
Yeah.
Dang,
Well,
tell
in
you
two times
what,
speed, she sounded like
person.
Boomhauer, so it's fine.
But so they go, okay, we're gonna give you a check for $8,000, and she goes, we don't want no check.
We want folding money.
And they're
Yeah,
like,
forward.
yeah,
And the guy's like, "Ma'am."
it doesn't matter. You still gotta. I mean, there's paperwork.
And the guy's explaining to this cave person, he's all, ma'am, I assure you that a check is legal tender. And she goes, we don't want no legal. We want money.
Oh, money.
Cash in my
You're
hand,
going too
pal."
fast. Here. We want money.
I don't think I have a setting that slow to be Mercedes McCambridge.
Mercedes, please. And you could just tell at this point, Mr. Crow watching it at one speed, it's like, what in the fuck am I watching?
Have we even showed the girl yet?
We
so
are
there's a
10
random
minutes in,
inset
that-
shot of Naomi like in the wagon laughing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they do suddenly pan over.
And
to
like, oh, what?
the
Why is
shot-
she here?
like of her brushing her hair back and looking
Yeah.
at the camera, like, stick around.
Because that's when Mr. Crown's like about to leave. They go, no, hold on. She's there. And he's like, all right, there we go. There we go.
The
That's
one
what we
woman
came
in
here
this
for.
movie so far, and it's her.
He's like, this land deal's going on for 15 minutes, and I can't understand a thing this broad's saying. Something about JC Penney having a sale or some shit. What the fuck? They're riding around in a wheelbarrow. And then, so basically we watched this weird-ass family shop around for food and
Shopping
shit.
montage.
Fucking shopping montage.
And you
We're
could
gonna
just tell
do it.
Crowd is just fucking livid at this
God,
point. Like,
he is just punching his chair at this
God
point.
damn it. I
And,
mean, this movie only cost
We're
$10
literally
grand.
we're literally watching like Ba read labels.
Oh, yeah, she's looking at fucking sizes of shirts. She's like, this medium. No, I'll take
Pa gets his moonshine. From
that was
under
actually
the
kind of
cover.
cool that he goes up and he whispers to the guy. He's like, "You got shine."
Yeah, but then he'll drink it out in the open. But
Yeah.
Got the shine.
But the mom is looking at dresses, and she picks out a pretty dress, which we later see Naomi wearing. So a nice little like, oh.
We also fucking watch her weigh groceries.
Yep.
Like weigh fucking vegetables for 5 minutes.
We basically what we have here so far is basically the Beverly Hillbillies if it was like slow and stoic.
It's like the Beverly Hillbillies before they were the Beverly Hillbillies. You know, it's just like if you just stayed on the Clampets.
It's right after
stayed
Jed
there.
shot the ground and the bubbling crew
Yeah.
came
Before
up.
they decided that they should move.
Yeah.
And the whole series is them going like, so gonna go to the carnival?
Can you imagine tuning in to the Beverly
Yeah.
Hillbillies?
So in this episode, Jethro goes to the fair for
I'm
30 minutes.
I'm sure that was a real episode.
Stare at this
Yeah.
pig.
So now the family's going back to their shithole house, right? That they didn't sell; they just sold a part of the land, right?
And then suddenly, like an RPG,
Oh
they
my god!
they encounter this NPC in
You know
the
what's
woods.
fucking funny is that I've been playing Red Dead 2, right? This guy is straight out of fucking Red Dead,
Yeah.
like exact type
Did you
of
come
character.
rolling by on your cart and buggy? And
Uh-huh,
and
and-
shouting at you.
This guy goes, "Whoa, you gotta believe in the Lord, sir. Come, let me talk to you for a second."
Now, this Reverend, by the way, is an interesting character. He's played by. Give me a second. Thank you. Parley Bear is the name of this guy.
Boy.
Baer. Parley Bear, his claim to fame is that he's the Keebler Elf.
Wow.
So the Keebler Elf jumps out of a tree.
Not
and,
only is he selling cookies, he's selling the Lord.
what better
Salvation.
person to run into
Selling
in the
salvation.
woods than the Keebler Elf?
So basically, he goes like, "Oh, you need to believe in God," and then he's talking to the
They
dad.
almost
and-
run him down with their cart.
And by the way, if you're watching this on 2 times speed, man, is he fast.
It's
He's
insane.
and so he's telling the dad like how he's going to go to hell because he hasn't been to church and he hasn't donated and everything.
Well, first he steals some moonshine from him because
Well,
the
yeah.
dad goes over on the porch while this guy's doing the hard sell, trying to give you a used Lord.
I got the new Lord and the used Lord.
What do I gotta do to get you inside this Jesus Christ right here? And he pulls out the shine bottle, and that's when the Reverend starts dabbing his face like, I
am
sure am
parched.
parched. I could use a little. And he just snatches the bottle from his hand and starts chugging it.
And this is when I'm writing in my notes. I go, the family's watching this, but what am I watching? Because I'm 15 minutes in, and I'm watching a crazy preacher talking a mile a minute about how a dad needs to give him $2.
Do you want to live in the golden streets or the fiery pits? The golden streets or the fiery pits?
The devil's got you by the coattails. Aha! Yes, he does.
The Lord wants your money. Well, here's $2.
Yeah. And then the ma comes in with her broom.
Like
you know?
Toxic
Running in
Avenger.
with the mop.
She is like Toxic Avenger, and she just pushes him out. She goes, "No, get your god out of here."
Get your fat ass back to Trobaville.
And at one point, she goes like, "We know the Bible better than you."
And then JC chases the Reverend off like a goddamn wild child.
JC chasing
He's
out
like
Reverend.
screeching like an ape.
Like a howler monkey.
Well, okay, so JC's the young kid, right?
Yeah.
Oh
and
man,
this kid,
that kid
is something else. He's an animal.
Yeah, he's the one you wish got lost. You know, at
Yeah.
that point when they start losing kids in this movie, they're like,
Like, why is he the one who stuck around?
Why couldn't it have been JC?
Well, he's the one they keep trying to lose.
Well,
It's
just
like Fred
imagine the
Flintstone
scenes
throwing
with
out the cat.
Carmelita and Bruber if it was Carmelita and JC.
Oh, it would have
Do
been
you
way
want to see
better.
that movie?
Yeah, I
Where
do.
he's just screeching at her.
I would have loved to see that movie where Carmelita's trying to come on like a 10-year-old.
To like an 8-year-old.
Why don't we go back to my trailer? And he'd be like, great.
Meanwhile, he's shitting on the ground.
Yeah, because this kid, you know, everybody's probably going to shit on the ground. Oh, no, just wait. This
Yeah.
kid I don't put it past him.
At all. But yeah, they have a nice little heart-to-heart where Ma talks to Pa and says, we're being punished, and I don't know what for.
Yeah. It gives you a real sense of her worldview that $8,000
Is a curse.
Is a curse.
Like, we don't need this.
I desperately want to be cursed with the equivalent of $40,000.
And at this point, I am so fucking bored in this movie.
Oh, my God. It's 20 minutes in
So
at this
here,
point.
let's look over my notes here. JC swings on a tire. Naomi feeds a cow. I file my taxes. Siblings frolic in the swamp. I do a load of laundry.
Yeah, no, this goes on for minutes. This is the real one where it's like, look, boys, if you're gonna get busy in the car, now's the time. You got 40 minutes before we're gonna get to the nudity,
Like we're
and
just
then you can
hanging
just
out on
kinda-
this fucking land.
Oh yeah, this is why it's the second movie. This is when she's like, "Oh, I'm tired" in the car, and then everybody starts making out. And they're like,
Here's
"We'll
where
wake
the
up."
exciting stuff happens.
Here's where it gets sexy. Let's do
Yeah.
this. So Brava and Naomi are, as I mentioned, frolicking around, just like holding hands and running through.
So
a
they're
meadow.
brother and sister. They hold hands, yeah.
Yeah.
And they go, yeah. But by the way, they're supposed to be, I guess, like 16, but they're acting like they're 5.
Yeah.
Because they're going in like a river and splashing
Well, you know,
around.
this is why
and-
this is why you don't homeschool.
That's true. Yeah.
Your 16-year-old's gonna act like a 5-year-old. You don't put him out there with other kids.
They
so
got to learn shame like every other teenager.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You got to get out there and get hurt.
So they get
It's like building an immune system. You got to do that emotionally too. Let them play in the dirt a little bit.
So this is when Crown's about to just leave the theater and be like, "Look, just put it at the end of a triple feature or some shit." Because right now, and then he goes,
I think at this point, Crown is dousing the lobby with gasoline.
But then all of a sudden he goes, "Wait a second, they're at a lake. Oh, hold up,
Oh, we're
hold
going-
up."
And so,
Sit
yeah.
back down, boys. We got it.
Brother and Naomi decide it's time to go skinny dipping. And yeah, we're watching minors get nude.
Yeah.
And gonna note, maybe it was my screen, maybe the way the tints were, but the water looked unnaturally blue, like Selsun
yeah.
blue, like gross. Their bodies would come out like Smurfs.
They just dumped a whole pile of chlorine in there.
Yeah.
Like, it's safe now. Get in.
They're actually in the water tank at Toho Studios.
So I'm just writing, what the fuck is going on? We just watch them swim for a while, and then they get out, and the brother
And this gets a
starts
little
drying.
weird because, like, while they're drying off, he starts running a finger along one of her shoulder blades.
And then
then she
down.
turns around, we're playing the soft music, and I'm like, nope, we've established that they're siblings. I
Nope,
don't want
but it
this.
still happens.
And he starts
Yep.
running a finger along your clavicle.
And by the way,
and
I'm
then down
writing,
a
we are
little
24
further.
minutes into the movie. This is all I'm writing at this point.
And I'm, what, guys, and then they mercifully,
They smile at each other.
they smile at each other
Yeah.
like, hey.
Yeah.
And then they put their clothes back on.
But then don't worry, we just run back, and they pet a goat for a while.
Yeah.
Is this where they go?
This is where they go
visit
to
Aunt
Aunt Ada's.
Okay,
And
so
this is,
character...
what is this person doing in this movie?
Oh, boy. So here's the thing. I didn't know that they went to somebody else's house at this point. I thought they were back at their own house. I'm like, oh, my God, what year is this? Because I was like, there was a war, right? A civil war?
Yeah, Aunt Ada is an African-American woman living out here in the sticks. And, yeah, they don't specify that they've gone to a different property. It just looks like the other side of the same house.
She is acting like a character that's on a syrup bottle right now. And it is... I was
Yes.
like, okay.
She's magical.
Yeah, we're
she's
doing that.
magical. She gives them little necklaces that says, like, this will keep the spirits away.
And
the
wear
thing
these
is, like,
charms,
she
nothing
gives
bad will
them-
happen to
She
you.
gives them a charm to keep bad spirits away, and she has a goat tied to a post. I'm like, is this a fucking swamp witch?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. At
Is
least
this a
you went
Sugar Hill
Swamp Witch,
situation?
because I was like,
A swamp wizard? What?
I'm like, I hope that this is not what I think it is at this point, because I thought they went home and this is like a lady who works for them,
Yeah,
but not
like-
voluntarily.
Well,
and I was
they got
like,
$8,000 now, so
Yeah.
now they own a human being.
Yeah, I
and
was
this is
like,
the state
oh.
of Georgia.
Like, Jesus Christ, these hicks move fast.
That's what I thought. I was like, they bought someone.
Like, in the time it took for the kids to go skinny dipping, they came back and they have a slave.
yeah, we got an ant
But
now.
no, they don't, to be clear. However, this is a swamp witch. This is a magical lady who lives alone in the woods.
Yeah, who's got a
With a
goat.
goat.
Yeah, who gives out magic necklaces and goes, this charm will protect you. And they're like, okay, great.
And she immediately, the kids sit down and she just starts brushing Naomi's hair. I'm like, yeah, this is no question. This is a witch.
Oh, yeah. And then they go, well, bye.
Like, I
guess
imagine
we'll...
the goat's going to come over and be like, what's thou like to live deliciously?
Definitely Black Phillip. Yeah, I think so.
This is White Phillip.
Oh, it is white. Yeah, I could see it. So here's the thing: is they go, bye, Aunt. We'll see you later in the movie or not. Bye. Thanks for establishing another character. Wonder if we'll see her again.
Yeah.
We'll see.
So now we're riding into town again.
Oh yeah, because that's what we want. And then
they get Carnival barked by a car salesman.
my favorite part of the whole movie, when they go past the car lot and he goes, "Hey, come on, man." He goes, "Why don't you come in here? Get to the 20th century."
you don't need a horse for this.
And he goes, "I'll take a good trade-in." Trade-in on a horse and buggy.
And they kind of no sell it. And as they're passing, because they don't know what kind of snake oil this guy's tried to sell them. That's the devil's work.
Combustion engines.
Like, whoa,
Sounds
whoa.
like the devil.
The devil's
Devil and
fire
metal.
makes that work. We ain't doing that. And he goes, y'all take care of that money now.
Devil's fire. I like that. Ma just going, nope.
That's the devil.
They said horsepower. I assume
We got
that
all the
meant there was-
horsepower we need
I
right
have
here.
a horse.
Yeah.
I already have all the power I need.
You don't need any of that devil's fire. So then they buy a ticket on a bus now.
yeah,
so they're not against
5 tickets.
using combustible engines to get somewhere.
Yeah, Ma's very inconsistent.
Yeah, so they go, we're going to buy tickets on the bus. Don't worry, audience. We're not going to tell you where we're going.
And they tell the driver, they're like, drop us off at the fairgrounds. And the guy's like, well, this bus doesn't go to the fairgrounds. And they go, we paid our money and that's where we're going to go. Fucking rich people, man. Like, oh, shit. Oh, now you're running the show, huh?
Nouveau riche. Think they have everything now. Fucking bougie.
Oh, God.
Ma and Pa Nouveau riche. Yeah, like...
Just went out, bought the Ferrari, thinking it's an everyday car, you know?
Jesus Christ, though. Like, telling the bus driver, like, fuck you. You drive where I tell you to drive.
And the guy's like, okay.
All right.
They're also the only people on the bus, so I don't think it matters.
I think that's why he didn't care.
But by the way, at the later, it's not much of a spoiler or anything. There's still a bus that stops by the fair.
Yeah.
Because they're like, go catch that last bus.
Yeah, there is literally a bus stop outside the fair.
Yeah, but not this one.
But this bus driver just didn't want
This
to
was
take
the
him.
Express.
Maybe. So we get to the fair, and here's what I write. This jackass family goes around the fair for minutes, and we watch them
It goes on
be
forever.
jackasses at the fair. Here, let me say some of the things we see. Throwing balls, like at the game, right? Eating hot dogs. Eating cotton candy. Mm-hmm. Taking pictures.
Yeah.
Watching some show where a man stands on a motorcycle that's not moving, and I go, that's not a trick. He's just standing on a seat. I'm watching it, and they're like,
Yeah.
look at the guy. He's doing the thing, and he's standing on a bike that's parked, and he stood on the seat, and he goes, ha, like I'm doing something. I don't know what it is, but I'm doing
But
something.
you can't take your eyes away because
Yeah.
something might just happen.
Because everybody's like,
It was fascinating.
that bike might move.
Now, keep in mind that this is probably the first time they've had any kind of spending money.
Yeah.
So this has to be like a whole new world for them.
So they go spend $8,000 at the fair.
Yep, they're just going to blow through that money.
$40,000 at the fair.
If that was
And
the end of this
hot
movie,
dogs.
they're just like, we're out of money.
Well-
And they just get back on their buggy and they get back on their wheelbarrow and they go home.
You know, what's funny, Bobby, is that's not far off.
I know.
So we see.
We also have.
I was laughing.
We have Brava and Naomi checking out the haunted house.
Yeah, I don't know about you guys though, but while they were going around the fair, I was laughing hysterically to myself that I was watching this. I'm like, what?
You
the
descended into
Yes,
madness.
I was like, what am I watching?
So in this montage, before they get to the haunted house, we see Brover. He sees the Barker talking about the sexy lady show, the exotic dancing.
Yeah, okay, so let's get into this. Okay.
This is important.
So apparently at fairs in the 1970s, you could catch a stripper,
Yeah.
like a strip show.
As you know, our show is millennials only.
Yeah.
Any outliers, any older audience members, let us know. Was that a thing at county fairs back in before we were born?
Yeah.
That,
Husbands going to the fair by themselves,
that
and the
you can
wives
get
are
a-
like, I know where you're going.
that you could take in
You're
a
going
shoe
to that
show.
fair.
All right, it makes sense when you think about it, like especially for smaller towns that would not have had burlesque clubs.
Yeah.
Like, of course, like if a guy wants to see boobies that he's not related to or married to,
Yeah.
like the only place to go would be the fair.
Because this is what you want, right? Where
Actually,
there's
yeah.
a place with a bunch of young children, you want grown men walking around with boners, huh?
Absolutely,
That's what you
at
want?
all times. Just
Hey.
like the Whoopi Boys.
Our,
If they have
Patreon
lingerie
only.
stores in the mall, then it's fine.
Yeah.
And
So get
actually,
it right next
I
to the
remember
Tilt-A-Whirl. You got the strip show.
Basically, I know there's some old MST3Ks that have that too, where they have the dancing girl. At the
I mean,
carnival.
the HBO series Carnival
that had
that was a
dancing
big
girls.
Well,
thing.
that's
That was
true.
a thing.
But those are a little different type of carnival. Like, there's all sorts of stuff.
That
This
one
is
was
like
magical.
Yeah. This one, so apparently there's a guy at Carnival Park. He's like, you got to pay $1 to come in, pay your George Washington to come in and see her take at the top. You know, and everybody's like, okay, that's...
And Bravo's like,
Brothers, check it out. But then they go into a haunted house for 10 fucking minutes as they walk around.
And
by the
Bravo,
way, best part in the whole movie in terms of interest, because there's something happening.
yeah,
There's visuals.
They're wandering around.
there's like sticks hanging from the ceiling,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
loud noises, and they're getting proper spooked.
Yep.
And Brava has the option to go through two different doorways. One of them is scared, and one of them was it brave?
I did not.
But he takes them both in, and he goes right out the scared door.
Yep.
He's a little sis.
Yeah, because he's like, I got to pawn off my brother and sister somewhere so I can go look at the titties.
Yeah.
And so he bails. Meanwhile, Naomi sticks around and has an absolute fucking meltdown.
Shit, it's like a bad drug trip.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
They are
Yeah.
freaking out, and then JC, he also skedaddles.
Yeah, everyone bails on Naomi and leaves her in the
JC
Hall of Mirrors to fight Bruce Lee.
JC, yeah. JC is like, Junior from Problem Child. You know, he's just like a fucking terror, this kid.
Yeah,
and
he's
I
off
could
starting
see
fires
a
somewhere.
real Problem Child 2 type of scene where, you know, he gets on a ride and makes everybody barf or something. But no, he is. I'm surprised this place was standing after he got out of there, and it wasn't just burned down. But instead, it's just Naomi crying in a corner as some carnival guy.
She spazzes
some
out so
carnies
hard that she
yelling at her.
collapses into a ball. And,
And a carny guy's
this
screaming at her.
mustachioed carny is like, "Quit crying, kid!" And he runs over and he picks her up.
He's like a Sour Patch Kid. First he's sour, and then he's sweet to her.
It's true.
And he takes her out back and sets her down on like a stump to calm down.
Yeah, he physically carries her out
and
like
just drops her off behind the carnival.
He goes,
where,
"You'll be fine here."
Where Evil Knievel's putting his dick back in his pants.
Okay, so here we get to Stunt
meet
Boy,
Jake.
Stunt Man. Okay, where the
Super
guy
Dave Osborne.
Yeah, Super Dave, who's just
And he's
standing
putting
on
his
that.
massive Elvis belt back on because apparently he just got done, you know, popping a squat behind the carnival.
Yeah, and the thing is like, okay, so he is.
Everyone shits on the ground in this movie.
Oh, absolutely. So this guy, like, he dresses like Elvis and Evil Knievel. So
Yeah,
it's like a
he's-
two,
he's like if
Best
you-
of both worlds.
Yeah,
if you
'cause-
chose, if there was a Canadian Evil Knievel, he's just in the red and white.
Yeah.
He's like player 2 if you were playing an Evil Knievel video game.
Definitely. So yeah, he comes up and he's like, "Oh, why are you crying?" and everything. And she's
And he
like,
goes, "What's the
"Oh."
matter, baby? Someone hurt you?"
A natural aphrodisiac. A
Yeah.
crying woman.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How
and-
old are you, little baby? And she goes, 16.
And that's when he touches her.
And
he
he's
puts
like,
his hand
"Hey."
on the chin. He goes, "Oh, well, maybe you should come and watch my show. I'll let you in for
Yeah,
free."
because she explains that, like, my whole family abandoned me. And he's like, why don't you come watch my show for free?
Yeah.
And
My whole family abandoned me, and he's
and
like,
as she walks
"Jackpot."
by, he like gets this this big old feel on her. He gets like lower back. He gets some of her bottom.
Oh, when she agrees to go to the show, he's like, because he's still comforting her like she's
Yeah.
crying, and then he's like, "Oh, well, she agreed to the show, so she agreed to everything."
and his
when
hand
he,
practically
he's-
goes up her skirt. I'm like, dude.
Jesus, man. So he leads her over to the motorcycle show where I say, apparently the motorcycle show is that Stuntman just rides around a barrel.
Yeah.
Like, he just rides around a barrel, which I was like,
It's like
this is
a-
not impressive to
What
me.
is it, like a velodrome
Yes.
type situation?
Yeah.
Like a small one that's more angular, and he's
It's
getting
like
up
a-
on the walls.
like a
I'm
big
sure
barrel.
For the early 70s small town carnival, that was pretty dope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it is a very dangerous
We didn't
stunt.
have the cage
But
ball
also,
yet,
like,
where they can go upside down.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like one of those cage ones, which I saw like years ago when I was a kid in Circus or something. But then there's like fire involved and all that. This guy's just riding around a fucking circle.
By the way, my wife and I, 2.5 years ago, 3 years ago, visited a small town in Central California called Coalinga.
Okay.
And it was just a ghost town. There was nobody there. But center of town had a carnival.
And it had the
And
barrel.
The hours.
barrel
It was like a carnival
motorcycle.
that was only going to run on the weekends, but they had everything still set up, and they had like the dirt bike ball and like a tilt-a-whirl, and I was fucking it. It was basically this carnival from the 70s still existed in Central California back in the sticks.
Wow. And they're
And
like, you
it
want to
was,
stand in the middle of the thing while you ride a motorcycle? You're like, fuck no, I don't. Fuck
And there was
no.
nobody around. It was weird. It was like being in a movie after the zombies had eaten everybody. But I gotta tell you, an abandoned carnival in a small town with nobody around is chilling.
Yeah, I could see that.
But it was really fascinating to think that what we're looking at in this old ass movie still exists in small towns.
Yeah.
Not everyone gets the LA fare.
But again, they have the full ball because this is not impressive to me. I'm like, well, he's just like using the natural inertia of the bike going to ride
Yeah,
in a
but the
circle.
Hicks don't understand inertia.
Because
They don't have science.
he's just going. It's like, look, he's riding on the wall, but he also is just going fast enough to do it. And then at one point he takes his hands off. I'm like, okay, that's slightly impressive.
now we're getting somewhere.
Yeah, I wanted to see the bike just flip and
Just
do something.
eat
you know?
it like
Which-
like Evil Knievel.
Which, by the way you watch this show is you go on top of this big barrel and then you put your heads over the barrel, and I'm like, man, if that bike goes flying, like people's
Up into
heads
the
are
audience.
flying off.
Yeah, it's
yeah.
like watching rollerball.
Yeah, it really is. And so he just goes around a barrel for a while.
And we cut from that over to Brother.
Oh, I'm sorry.
who's,
We cut to mom and dad eating hot dogs
Oh,
for
right,
2
right.
minutes. Bobby, how dare you
I'm
gloss
sorry.
over the
I-
2-minute
I-
hot dog
Listen,
eating?
it's a lot of intercutting in this.
I didn't.
I'm
I
serious.
didn't mean to plow right past the crucial corn dog scene.
No, I swear to God, you watch them like mustard, relish, and then they just sit there and eat a fucking hot
These
dog.
are hardcore Depression era
never-
dirt farmers.
Old
Are
Tom
they
Joad
having
ain't
a
never
good
seen a hot
time?
dog
I don't know,
before.
yeah.
You can make a pig shaped like this. Now, what part of the pig am I?
Like a pig shit.
Wait a minute.
And you know, this is the part where Mr. Crowd has just got his hands over his head and goes,
Mr. Crown is weeping into his hands.
I gave you 10 grand and you give me hillbillies eating hot dogs. Talking about how you make a pig into a cylinder. What in the fuck? He asked for mustard, for fuck's sake!
Oh, God. Mr. Crown getting on the stool with a rope. He's done.
And he goes, let me guess the next scene. We're going to cut back to that fucking dim-witted brother who they can't even pronounce his name as brother. You're just going to watch this dumbass, aren't you? Go ahead.
Good idea,
Tell me
Mr.
what
C.
the next scene is, Bobby. Go ahead.
So, we cut to brother.
Of course we do.
And while he's watching the dancing girls. And,
well, here we go.
They introduced
Got something
Carmelita,
going on
who is
now.
The exotic, quote, gypsy dancer from Madrid. I know.
Don't they also mispronounce Madrid?
Yeah.
Madrid.
From Madrid. Also,
And this is the point
we're
when-
still working on gypsy as a slur. Like people still throw that around all willy-nilly nowadays. It's an offensive term. It's racist. You don't have to like it, but it's racist.
Yeah, listen, I studied the Roma in college. I wrote several papers on it. It's largely context-based, and it's also like, it's not a great term. But also, it can be a term divorced from its. A gypsy caravan can mean one thing, doesn't mean you're like. There are like very racist connotations and uses of that in different countries. But saying gypsy is offensive or racist as a blanket isn't exactly true, but it's more true than not true. So it's better just to not say it.
So it is racist to apply the term gypsy
To a
specific type of person.
And you know, at
Yes.
this point, Mr. Crown has still got his hands on his head. Just, you know what? Put that in the movie, too. Go ahead. Put 5 minutes about gypsy talk or whatever it is in the movie. Mr. Crown, we shouldn't say that. Shut up. Tell me about
in the 70s.
Here we go. Thank
It's
God.
okay.
Carmelita comes into this movie and saves it, right? Because she goes upstairs and she's going on the stage, she's dancing.
Oh, we got the other strip. So before Carmelita goes on stage, one of the other strippers tells her like, "Oh, our country cousin keeps moving closer to the stage," meaning Bruver.
Yeah.
Bruver. And somehow this other stripper knows that his family has inherited
Well,
some
the whole
money.
town knows. That's why the
they're
car
also
dealership guy
carnies.
was barking to him. Yeah, the carnies aren't from the
No,
town.
I know.
You know
How
what?
do they
I don't
know?
know. Tanner, I was trying to figure out the whole movie.
Like-
how...
Are the locals telling the carnies about this? You
Is-
see that
and
kid over there? His
That
family's
could
got
maybe
$8,000.
work if it's just kind of like the telephone game,
The word of mouth
of like,
getting
oh yeah,
around.
that kid comes from.
I
money.
heard
I
that
was
family's
still
got
like-
$100,000.
Yeah, like if it grows, so that
Yeah,
kind
but-
of makes this make sense.
Yeah,
But
and
as
nowadays,
it doesn't.
even if somebody's like, I heard that family got 40 grand, nobody
Well-
would be like, well, I got to find a way to take
I
it.
gotta,
that's because,
I gotta marry into this family
Well,
and
that's
milk
because
them.
cost of living outpaced inflation.
Oh, so it was like $1
So,
million.
40 grand. Yeah, you gotta understand. Like, yeah, nowadays 40 grand isn't shit.
Okay, so they were like, yeah, well, it's also 8 grand, not 4.
No, I'm talking about with inflation.
Yeah, yeah. So, anyways, what we cut to while they're saying that is we go back to the stuntman, and he's talking to Naomi, and this is when I'm like, so now at this point,
post-show.
this point in the movie theater in the drive-through, the FBI's making their rounds, and they're like, got him, because every pedophile in the county is here.
Yeah, this is a real. We're catching the Zodiac killer here.
Yeah, as
we're
we
locking the
see-
doors.
Yeah.
You get to hear Chris Mann go, "Later, losers."
As he peels out. This is really the dead end drive-in of this
Yeah,
part of the
it
movie.
should be.
They lock the doors and go, here you go, degenerates.
So Jake the Stuntman Jake.
Yeah.
He says, "Oh, so what'd you think of the show?" And she's like, "I just absolutely loved it, Mister." And he goes, "Well, stick around. I'll really show you something. Let's grab a beer."
And then he goes,
16-year-old.
And then he takes off her charm.
well, because he goes, what the hell is this shit? like around her neck, she goes,
And
oh,
she's
it's
like,
a charm.
"Oh, the witch who lives in the woods gave
Yeah.
it to me."
This witch, we're going to call her that, gave me this charm and everything.
He goes,
And he
well,
goes,
you don't need this anymore. And he pulls it off of her like Andre the Giant yanking the cross pendant off of Hulk Hogan.
he takes her charm off
You
and
don't
just
need this,
chucks
boss.
it. He goes, yeah, I'll protect you now.
He's like, "You got me now."
Do you really think he's afraid of the charm? Like, do you think he's like, oh, shit?
I think he hates like gaudy garbage worn on a necklace around someone's neck.
Okay, so he's met this girl for 5 minutes. He's already telling her how to dress.
Yeah.
Jesus, man.
You belong to me now.
He's got some BDE.
This is like Lady Terminator. He's like, "You're married to me now."
And then, oh yeah,
He made the snake come out.
then it gets worse because he goes over to the Carnival Barker for the strip show, and he's like, Hey, I got a young one. There we go.
Basically, yeah, he's explaining
like, what
that.
the
And so
fuck?
we know that they're running some kind of thing here.
At this point, I'm like, oh no, they're not putting her on stage, right? Because I was getting really worried.
Yeah.
But then he just runs back over. She's like, what's that about? He's like, no. Then we go back to the strip show.
And this is the end of the strip show, and Carmelita throws Brava her skirt like she's Mean Joe Green.
Yeah. Because Brava is just sitting at the end of the stage, just like a Tex Avery cartoon with his tongue out, being like, "Yow, wow, wow, wow." Yeah. And she's just like all about it, getting that 40 grand, 8 grand. And she throws it, and then he just sits there after the show.
Like a creeper.
The whole fucking show. Like everybody's
weird-ass.
getting out of there. He's the last guy left on the strip club. And then she comes back out, and he's like,
Thank God it wasn't JC. He'd be doing a Daffy Duck freak out.
JC would be like running up and down the fucking
He'd be like
pole.
Donald O'Connor and singing in the rain. He's like doing flips up off the walls, and jumping on the table.
Think about it. This movie needed more JC. Like, it could have really used a dose
it really
of it.
would have helped things.
As all of a sudden during the strip show, something's just bouncing around like a fucking somebody shot a bullet or something. He's bouncing around like, what the hell's that? Oh, it's fucking JC.
So after the show, she's talking to Bravo.
Yeah.
And says, "Hey, why don't you wait around while I change, and we'll go out for a drink."
Oh, well, because he says this thing. He goes, "You drop your outfit, ma'am." And she's like, "Yeah, I know,
Man,
it's part of the show."
That dude's got game.
You dropped your outfit.
It's like, yeah,
You never seen a guy hang out at a strip club and go, "Oh, sorry, ma'am, you dropped your top."
What is this
ma'am?
Forrest Gump shit? He's just like, your clothes came off.
It's funny you say Forrest Gump because he's really going to embody that a little bit later in this movie.
Yeah.
He is really like, this is like a Forrest Gump went
He's
to
a simple boy.
went to a strip club, which must be the part of the movie they cut out. They had everything else. They had AIDS. They had everything.
Sorry, I ruined your robe.
They didn't have
That
Forrest Gump.
motorcycle stunt, man, he was a loving man.
They didn't have Forrest Gump getting a lap dance. Then I gave her $20. She was real nice.
She was my new friend.
She dropped her outfit though. I returned it
She's
to
very
her.
clumsy.
She smelled like cotton candy and sadness.
Zemeckis, you fucking hack. This is seriously, if you think about it, it's like Forrest Gump origin story. Like Sally, oh my God, I'm drawing a blank on her name.
Robin Wright.
Who plays his mom in the movie?
Oh, Sally Fields.
Sally Fields,
yeah.
thank you.
Sally Struthers.
She's just like Ma in this movie, not
Basically.
far off, chasing people off with brooms and shit.
Yeah, and fucking his teacher in order to keep him in the regular school.
Yep.
You don't remember that part when Ma went, well, gotta go fuck the teacher.
Yes, she does. She does do that in the movie.
And so while she starts changing, Carmelita, that is, not Ma.
Yeah.
She pulls off her wig, and it cracks Bravo's brain in half.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he freaks the fuck out.
Turns out she's not brunette at all. She's blonde. She's
Yeah.
not even from Spain.
And she's like,
She's not even from Madrid.
You thought it was real? And he's like,
He's talking like the Vulture in an old Looney Tunes cartoon.
we didn't mention this guy, but you were saying like he never did anything else. I don't think he was intended to do it. I think this is a real guy.
You think
like
Bravo
a-
was legit?
Yeah, I think there's like a Hills Have Eyes. Like they found him on set, and they're like,
They
"You want
left
to be
him
in
in
a
the
movie?"
woods after this movie was
Yeah,
over.
they're like, because originally it was just going to be JC, but
Yeah, the house they shot at was his house.
no,
He lived there.
Just imagine JC in this scene, because that's what we'll get to later when he goes into that trailer. I would have loved it, Tanner, if the roles reversed and Carmelita's
If she took off her wig, he'd start eating it.
He's eating like a fucking plate of spaghetti. He's just slurping it up.
Thanks for the snack, lady.
JC is the closest character we've actually had in any movie to actual Scorchy. And it really is. It's like, when Scorchy was a child, she was definitely a lot like this guy. Because he is just bouncing off every fucking wall.
With the timing of it all, do you think maybe this is Scorchy's kid?
I went to the Carnival, met a guy with $8,000.
She's traveled a lot.
Yeah, I could see Scorchy going undercover as one of these strippers.
As a carny?
Yeah.
As a stripper carny?
Get that $40,000 from that family, The only thing is, Scorchy take it all the way, Leanne. All the way. Like, there's no way she's bailing,
Absolutely not.
But no, he's just waiting for her to get changed, and they're going to go get a beer. And then at the same time, the rest of the family, so Ma and Pa are stuck with JC, and they're like, God damn it. The rest of our kids done run off, but
Gotta catch this last bus.
here, I'll do it in the real way, Tanner. Go catch last bus.
I hope
And you can just see
they
Crown being like,
show
God
up tomorrow.
damn it.
I do find it fascinating that they're like, oh, we got to catch this last bus. Hopefully our 2 children will come back to us tomorrow.
Yeah, because they're like, well, we don't have any other way to get home. Got to take the boat.
Now they have $8,000. They're like, if we lost a couple of us.
Oh, yeah, but at this point, they're looking at JC like, why couldn't he been the one? God damn it. The only one in this family with potential was Naomi. She's the only one who's normal.
Well, he's the easiest to feed because he just eats garbage, wigs, anything.
Yeah, Mom's eating a banana, throws the peel, and JC's just, my favorite. He's sticking around the fucking yard for truffles. Like a goddamn pig. We don't need no truffle pig. We got JC. Stick his nose right in the ground.
That's what JC stood for. Truffle pig.
Truffle pig. They don't even need a lawnmower. You just put him down on all fours and he's chewing the grass.
Grab him by the ankles. Let him do his thing.
You see Bob.
He's plowing a field.
Bob's got JC's feet and just plowing a field.
He's just making a big old track through the dirt.
And that's when the Andy Kaufman guy pulls up in the car. It's like, goddamn.
The hell are they going to do with $8,000? Feed it to the boy.
Horse sick. Put JC on the cart.
Give him a little bit of sugar and he'll pull us all the way to town.
Oh, God damn. You imagine if JC found a bottle of Mountain Dew? That'd be the end of this fucking movie, dude. Oh, JC done drank the pot of coffee.
God, that's like the blue sunshine. His hair would fall out. He'd try to attack people.
So anyways, now the stuntman's getting a little too aggressive because he's like going to Naomi, he's feeling her up, and thank God we cut. Thank God.
Yeah.
But then we go to Brava, right? That's when she comes back out. She's like, all right, we're going to go. And then the stuntman brings Naomi in the barrel riding thing.
Yeah, they get inside the dome.
Yeah, and we see men start to gather.
Now you say dome. It's not a... This is
a
just
dome, not a dome.
Okay, they have those rides where it is a barrel. Right? That was like the old style of it, where it was a barrel that spun around and there's no things, you just stick to the wall. It's like they took one of those and they're
like the Gravitron?
Yes. But the
you
original
ripped the roof
version
off of it and sent a guy through there in a motorcycle.
Yes, but the original version of it was just a barrel with an open roof.
Okay.
And so that's what this is like they just said, the ride don't work no more.
Just put a motorcycle in it.
Put a motorcycle
Then after the show's closed, we use it as a sex room. It's the perfect way to do it.
And it's great because you could just peer over the top like some sort of Eyes Wide Shut type of thing.
That's in my notes. I was like, this is some weird Eyes Wide Shut shit.
They're watching a surgery.
And there's just the
they're
single
watching
piano
something
key.
being removed.
The single piano key is just playing the whole time. Fidelio, as they go into the big barrel, right? And he goes, yeah, this is where the magic happens. And then he's like, how about we just fuck right here where I ride my bike around?
And so the magic happens.
Yeah.
Oh, she's not into it.
No?
Right.
No, she's all for it. But they have a sex scene, and then all of a sudden we see the reason that he was talking to that guy before is because he's getting everybody to watch the sex show as he... the stuntman has sex with an underage girl and an audience. So at least there's witnesses.
Well,
yeah,
small town, you know.
So when the Pinkertons come calling...
The Pinkertons? This is fucking Deadwood?
Well, it's like you watch it, what fucking time period are we
all
in?
over the place.
If you don't think...
1973.
At this point, you could definitely see Pinkerton showing up on that property.
I wouldn't have flinched. Honestly.
So then the brother, they go to the bar, right?
Yeah, they jump in her blue convertible, which is a pretty sweet ride.
And Carmelita goes, yeah, like you never seen a car before. And he's if only she knew, man.
Yeah. And Mom and Pa are still waiting at the bus stop. They decide to leave without him.
Oh, yeah, they're like, guess we don't have two more kids.
Between these things. But yeah, they get to the bar and they walk in right as Weezer's finishing up. It really felt like I was watching the Buddy Holly video. They just look like a modern hipster indie rock band. Is finishing their set. And Carmelita knows everybody in there. They get their regular booth. She yells, hey, Mac, play something on the jukebox. Something really hot.
Yeah.
And the guy yells, I'll play it and you shake it. She goes, yeah. She's lighting up a cigarette because she's just class.
And she's getting Brava all liquored up while they're sitting at this table. And then she goes, how about we dance? And he's like, I don't know how to know dance.
He is he is full bore, mentally delayed dude for the rest of the movie. Yeah. And it's just confusing.
It's like a Forrest Gump.
It's a hard watch, man.
It's a Forrest Gump.
Because you do believe that this guy is not just a simple country folk. Yeah, you would start to worry.
It's just Forrest Gump.
Yeah.
It's the exact same type of character where it's like, oh, this drink tastes funny.
Jenny, why are you taking your clothes off?
Yeah, and she's just like, no, drink up. Hey, you want to dance? And he's like, I don't know how to dance. And she's like, well, I'm going to go dance with this strange man. And then we just watch
Andy
5
Kaufman
minutes
shows up.
of her fucking dancing with a guy.
You know, for a stripper, not that good of a dancer.
No.
It was a different time.
And Brother's just sitting there. He doesn't even know what to think. Because I don't think he thinks. I think he's just, well, guess I'll drink this drink.
And the waitress comes up to him and goes, how about a couple more? Because you're going to need them before the night's over. Because this waitress knows the game.
Yeah.
She's seen this happen a million times.
And then the stripper just comes back. Like, Carmelita just comes back. And then they just...
This is an interesting interaction she has with him. Because she goes, hey, so how'd you like it? And he says nothing.
Yeah.
He just sort of stared. And she goes, damn it, say something. Another ellipses.
Yeah.
As he just sits there. And she goes, want to play some pinball? And
Yeah.
he perks up like, hey, pinball.
So an hour into this movie, guys, this is an hour into a 90-minute movie. We watch people play pinball.
And
for fuck's
it really
sake,
hammers
we
home
watch
that this
people
kid
play
is a
pinball.
minor, though. That he's not remotely interested in watching the lady dance or having a drink or anything like that. He's not into it. But the second she's like, want to go play an arcade game? He goes, yippee!
Yeah. So then the stuntman shows up at the bar. So at this point, there was a part we gloss over real quick, is that Naomi comes out of the barrel sex scene, and she's like, well, now the stuntman's being a total dick, by the way, because he's like,
he got what he came
fuck
for.
off. And she's like,
But she's
but my
explaining
whole
that-
family's gone, and I don't know where
she's got
Bravo
nobody.
is. And he's like, who gives a fuck? And then she's just all upset, and he goes, all right, fine, I guess I'll find him or some
Hang out
shit.
in my trailer. We'll
Yeah.
figure it out.
So she goes in the trailer. She's like, look at this, a real home. And she's just like hanging out, like she's never seen a fucking bed
Because she lives in the
before.
fucking Evil Dead cabin, so she's never...
Yeah.
she has no idea what modern living looks
But
like.
at this point, it's like, I don't know where they sleep, man. I assume JC just digs them holes every night.
He pulls dirt over himself.
They don't even have a shovel, man. He just goes like a fucking cave kid, like Mowgli
he
or
sleeps
something.
wherever he passes out. His body drops suddenly. And it's like a rooster crowing in the morning. JC wakes everybody back up.
It's like, God damn it.
But yeah, Jake rolls in like a fucking boss. He
got
comes
a
in on his
sweet
motorcycle.
motorcycle.
He walks right in. He kisses 2 different girls. He walks up, smacks Carmelita on the ass, and then she goes, "Hey, showbiz!" when she sees him.
Yeah. And then the stuntman is talking to her, and he's like, so are you trying to steal money from that boy and everything?
Yeah.
And she's like,
And
yep,
they
got my
have-
meal ticket.
They've got this like
$8
insider
grand.
talk because they're both grifters. And he goes, so who you with this time? She goes, country cousin. Points over at Forrest. And he goes, oh, get yourself a new pitch. She goes, oldest pitch in the business. Family's loaded. And he goes, these long working hours are going to get you down, babe. So he's sort of a remorseful grifter. Like he's getting real tired of this game.
Well, also, he's like, he's like Forrest Gump, right? That he's the kid's not all there.
Listen, I just had sex with his sister, and she ain't bright, and I'm pretty sure he's even more stupid.
Yeah.
With the point of comparison I'm working with, this kid shouldn't be out by himself. But yeah, he's acting like he's starting to really feel bad about this life they've chosen.
Yeah. He's getting, because at this point he's like, well, I may have made a mistake. I've made a huge mistake. I slept with an underage girl tonight.
Like that was, to his credit, I guess, that's the bridge too far. Like he did it and then went, what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah.
Like I just had sex with a kid.
Oh, God.
He's like, man, I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah, and so then the brother, she's like, fuck you, and we go to brother Brava and stripper
Brava.
dancing.
And they have a slow dance where she tries to get some info out of him. And he finds out that...
Tries to, it happens in 10 seconds.
yeah, it's not hard.
She goes, hey, how about that money? Oh, Ma buried in the yard.
It's in a jar, buried under the house. And then they dance for a while longer because runtime.
Yeah. Oh, of course. And then there's a part where some guy
This
tries
dude,
to assault
like an
a
extra
strip
that
Carmelita.
Bronson would have grabbed the dick of.
Yeah.
He starts getting handsy with Carmelita, and our teenage hero, Brova,
He tries.
he goes like, "Hey," and just gets taken down,
Yep.
like
Yeah.
a solid punch to the
gut
gut.
punch sends him down.
And then
Then the
Super
stuntman
Dave.
carries him out, right?
Yeah.
And they go to the car, and he gets
this
in
is
a
a
big
great
fight.
interaction. You should drop this in if you can, because this is one of the highlights. I think it's in the trailer actually, so you probably already heard it if you're listening to this.
But he gets a big fight with Carmelita.
And he goes, "Why don't you let that country fish go? You don't need him or that lousy money." And she says, "Look at you, Mr. Showbiz. After you turn a pitch with Daisy May, you're gonna come preach to me?"
At some point, I'm like, is anybody going to go, it's only $8,000? I mean,
Not for these people.
this is a lot of trouble for just not that much money.
If
And,
they just, saved, spent a little more responsibly,
Yeah, because
they'd
she's
have the
like,
money
I heard
in
of
no
this
time, right?
company called Apple. I'm going to buy some stock.
But yeah, he's kind of doing a Mr. Pink. He's
Yeah.
like, we're goddamn professionals. And she goes, you're a professional makeout artist.
And they're like, and they're fighting and everything. And then he drives off, right? And then we're back at the carnival, and Naomi's asleep in his trailer. He comes back.
He takes his shirt off and he lays down next to her.
Bobby just described what takes, I'm not even joking, 2 minutes to happen in the movie.
Yeah.
As he walks into the trailer, there's not a line of dialogue. You can just tell Mr. Crown's like, they better fuck. They better fuck again, because I don't know what I'm watching. A man has walked into a trailer. He took 30 seconds on camera where he just stares at her. Then he takes his shirt off. He lays in the bed for another 30 seconds. And then the scene ends.
She turns and starts fingering his chest hair, and Mr. Crown's probably like, all right,
Okay, here we go.
And then he goes, knock it off, kid. Go to sleep.
And you can just hear the words, God damn it.
Because at this point, Jake has done a face turn, as we say,
Yeah.
as wrestling nerds. He's full blown just a good guy now in this movie.
Is he?
Like after he got done,
nah.
fucking a 16-year-old.
He's on a redemption
Not
arc.
for me.
He is on a redemption arc.
I'm like, you can try. But...
and I'm not saying I'm behind the guy. I'm just saying like he is trying to do the right thing from this point on.
You're trying so hard to find a good person in this movie.
I have terrible people and idiots. That's all I have in life. And then here I am watching this movie, and I got to deal with this shit again.
So we're back at the carnival. Well, okay, we're at the carnival. Yeah, they go to sleep, right? The next day at the homestead.
We cut from there to Ma standing on the porch, looking out into the night and into the woods, probably waiting for JC to come back with a kill,
or just
in his teeth. He has like a skunk or
he's
a
going
possum.
all fours, running up and down,
just full blown. This is like in the trailer for Glass, where they show the split guy running on all fours like Rob Schneider in The Animal.
I want him to have like a bear in his mouth, like something way bigger than
He's like way bigger
he's got
than
a
him.
grizzly in his mouth just running up.
And he's bleeding.
Yeah, JC back with dinner.
He got another bear.
And so yeah,
they're just she's like,
Mom and Pa are having a
they'll
talk here
come
the next
home.
morning.
Yeah, it's the next day, and they're like,
you were going at that Bible pretty good last night. I don't want to know what that means. Considering that she was the voice of Linda Blair in The Exorcist, I don't want to know what that meant.
because then he goes, might have to get you a new one.
Like she ruined a Bible last night. Like man,
she's going at it hard, man.
And
Jesus is our one true love, man. Jesus and J.C. Penney.
You wanna drop in the audio of her going, "Let Jesus fuck you."
Yeah, I think she recreated that.
I think we're doing that again. But yeah, and he goes, she asks him if he slept. And he goes, no, ma'am. And then Mr. Boom checks in on both of them.
Yeah, they go, is this still a movie?
I didn't sleep either, guys.
It's almost like Mr. Crown being like, dip it in there. I can't hear shit.
It was great to see him. It's been a little while since we saw Grindbin All-Star, legendary Mr. Boom. And it drops in so blatantly.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like, ooh, you might as well have had like a logo for some kind of product placement on it. It was so prominent.
Well, because at this point, JC is like grabbing the boom mic from the guy, and they're like, you're not, God damn it, JC,
You're
stop
not in the
it.
scene.
He's hanging from the boom mic with his teeth.
Let me hold it. Yeah, you just see the boom mic dip in with JC hanging on it like a tree branch.
It's like that fishing game where
Oh, that would have been great. The boom mic leans in and then he just dives on it.
He's attacking it.
He's batting at it like a cat.
And so, yeah, they're just like, well, this is a scene. And you can tell, by the way, that Mr. Crowd, every time that Bob Parr on screen, he goes, oh, fuck! Just does not want to hear it or see it. Cut back to the carnival.
We're inside Carmelita's trailer.
Yeah, so Bravo wakes up, and the Carmelita's like yelling at him. She goes, wake up, you prince!
Yeah. Hey, sleeping prince, get up! You know? And she goes, don't you remember? We got married last night.
very surprising.
Yeah. And he was like, oh.
She goes, you better take me home to meet your mom and see the plantation.
And Bravo's at this point just like, okay.
Yep.
And, well, the point she says that her boobs come out, so he immediately just goes, uh-huh.
Oh, yeah, there is that. Ding. And that's when the part when Crown's like, okay, you got my attention for another 5 minutes.
And
there
so
we go.
From there, we cut to, we're going down this, like, backwoods woodland road in with the blue convertible pulling the trailer. And the poor
it's a beautiful Airstream trailer.
It is.
a nice
Everything
Airstream.
is really nice. But the poor cameraman on the Airstream is taking branches to the face. Because, like, the camera is just getting thwapped by
This is like Evil Dead 1 when they're just driving.
we are heading to the Evil Dead cabin. That's how this should have ended.
It's the only like it's
The Deadites should have showed up.
because it's like Evil Dead 2 is definitely a refined version of 1. Because in 1, when they're just driving for like 5 minutes through the forest and like regular speed, it's like exactly what's happening here. It's like at some point we're gonna get to the next scene, maybe. I wouldn't be surprised at this point if the credits are just gonna roll over this Airstream going.
I would laugh so hard if that happened.
Because it
I mean,
just goes
it's
on
as
for
much of an
fucking
ending as we
minutes.
actually get.
Because
but
it's
we'll
like
get to that.
The crew in real time's like, is this Airstream gonna fit? Because that's like what we're
I got
watching.
concerned.
They're like,
that was the
okay.
most tense moment in this movie was, will this Airstream fit down this road?
In one speed where it's going at 5 miles an hour through branches, and Bobby's just on the edge of his seat.
Oh god! And I'm like, is this some kind of symbolism? I don't want to think about it.
So no, but I just go. We watch them drive,
And they get to the
More.
property, and Ma and Pa see this thing pull up.
oh, this
and,
is maybe the best. This is when Carmelita tries to save this movie.
And the second they get out of the car, either Ma or Pa, I don't remember which one this is. I think it was Ma goes, "Oh, you got that dancing lady."
Oh, I think it's JC who says that.
Oh, is that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Because I know he turns into a cartoon wolf.
yeah, ow, and he's just
And
bouncing
he goes,
all
"Look at
around.
that car and that trailer. I'd love to live in there." And Carmelita goes, "Well, you can't. Ain't no one getting in there but me." It's like B.A. Baracus at his van.
I was thinking like at home they go, we got pinball at home. You just press JC, it goes bouncing around the house.
You get the high score every time.
And
And
so,
so,
of
yeah.
course, they get out of the car and they look at her, Carmelita, and go, "Who the hell are you?"
Yeah, that's just, she's like, who the fuck are these people?
And she goes, "Well, I'm his wife and I'm entitled to mine." To your what? Whatever it is
Right,
I'm
I'm
entitled
entitled
to.
to.
I get half. It's like, wait, hold on. You're not even like divorced yet. You're already getting half.
And
I
Ma-
love that she wants 1/10 of $8,000.
The length she'll go, Tanner.
Yeah.
Like, I guess the strip show is rough, man.
Yeah.
Damn.
Sure, a couple $100 is very handy, but she has a really nice car and a really nice trailer.
She's clearly
I feel
doing
like
fine.
Yeah,
1/10.
1/10 of $8,000.
I think she misheard how much money they had. It's like, they got $8 million. But,
That's what I kept writing in my notes. I'm like, they only got $8,000.
Why
for a
is
whole
this your
family.
scheme?
It's like, at least Naomi's gone. Maybe they could have more. But
No
at
wonder
this point-
Jake is like, "This ain't worth it."
Oh, yeah.
Like, this is too much work for $8,000.
So then, yeah, she's like, well, I want mine.
And
Also,
so Ma immediately is like, "Get the hell off my property."
Get this big tin bogle off of my lawn. And I thought that was her like saying like, get out of here. But then Paul's just like, yeah, go park it over there. And they just drive it over
yeah,
a
so
few feet.
because then she goes, well, we're gonna live here now in my trailer on the
On your
property."
lawn.
Yeah, on your lawn. And so then,
And she turns to Brova and she goes, "This your family? No wonder you don't talk."
oh wait, okay, so this is maybe my favorite part in the whole movie. Just
JC?
when JC jumps onto her convertible, she goes, "Oh, look
Like
at the
he-
fancy car! I want
He
to ride in the
perches
car."
on it like he's about to defecate.
He does. And
Like,
she-
he's like, "I'm gonna pee on this and it's gonna be mine."
And this is fucking great because this was a very real moment.
It's
this was
so
not
great.
fake because Carmelita pushes JC
yeah, he goes,
so
"Gosh,
hard.
this is such a pretty car."
She pushes him so hard off the side of this car that this kid falls and legit lands like hard on
He
the
lands
ground.
like he took a power bomb. Like this
Flat
kid
on your
lands,
back,
he
JC,
takes
flat.
it on the shoulders. He flips over. It's like The
was like-
Rock took the Stone Cold Stunner.
like Kevin Nash jackknife power.
And she goes, "Get off my car, idiot!" But of course, he's too feral to feel it, so he just pops back up.
He takes a hell of a bump, man. And he
Like this
gets
guy,
right back
my
up.
God, hardcore icon, JC. he is amazing.
Yeah, he gives her a Van Daminator later in the movie.
And
But
so,
no, he's bouncing around trying to
so
lick the car. And all sorts
Carmelita
of shit.
starts giving Brova the business. She's like, "Can I talk to you privately?" It takes him into the was it the tin mondagle?
Big tin bogle.
She takes him inside the big tin mogul and starts just laying into him about how awful
she's
this
like, I want
family
the
is.
fucking money. We're gonna drive down and live in Florida.
But while
because
this is happening-
1/10 of $8,000 goes real far in fucking Florida. Also, I know a town that's
Especially
having
in
a-
the 70s.
Yeah,
Like,
I know
you're gonna buy one bag of Coke in Miami and you're done.
I know a town that's celebrating the South rising again down there. We can go hang out.
Yes. But while she's giving him the business, JC is eating the tires on her car.
He really is. Now, Bobby is not overplaying this. He really is. He's letting the air out of tires, but I swear to God, he's sitting there biting them. And all.
Yeah, they didn't show. You don't get in close enough to see if he's actually messing with the air nozzle or if he just ripped into it with his teeth.
He's biting the air nozzle with his teeth.
He's just eating the tires off of her car.
And Carmelita comes out and goes, "What the fuck?" Like,
because the entire big tin bogle starts listing to the side.
yeah, because JC only lets out one side.
Yeah.
So we now have an Airstream that's just totally crooked.
And then she runs outside and sees that he's already getting to work on the car now, having
he's
eaten the
taking out-
tires off the big tin bogle. And then they call Brova over.
Yeah,
Mom,
JC.
Pop.
Well, JC yells, "They're after the money, Ma!" And that brings the parents back out, and they
They go,
Brova, get over here.
Brova. And then they're not even mad about the money. They just bring him over and they go, "You done lost your sister. It's your only job is to keep her hand in hand and keep track of her. And now she's gone."
This was the Academy Awards speech.
This is it.
Yeah.
She bookends it with, "I don't know you, boy."
And Brava's like,
And so I just started running.
Yep.
And he turns and he books it.
yeah, for the rest of the movie, Brava just runs.
And we have long shots.
And I was running.
It's
You can
literally
see
like you expect to see the beard grow.
You know, it's
And
kinda
like-
funny.
And like the map behind him as he just goes.
is that Forrest Gump, I believe, took place in Georgia. At least they filmed it.
Zemeckis.
And you could just imagine Brava as an adult sitting on the park bench, and I just kept running.
And that's exactly how it works. Because he
Carmelita.
runs and runs. He trips and falls in the creek. He gets up and he runs some more.
And the weird thing is that later in Carmelita's life, she went on, had a little wild time. She also got AIDS and then eventually tried to jump off a balcony.
It all fits. It all fits. But yeah, his running takes him finally to Aunt Ada's.
Yeah.
The bog witch.
Well, we thought we were going to see her again, but instead he goes, "Hey,
and he's yelling, "I need your help!" And he rips off his necklace and he throws it on the ground and he starts running again.
So here's my thing with the charms.
Uh-huh.
Nothing really bad happens to Naomi until after the charm is taken off of her.
Yeah.
And then, she gets eyes wide shutted. So Brother is wearing his charm during all of this until this moment.
Yeah.
So is everything up to this point happening to Brother supposed to be good?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah,
think that's
yeah.
what that means.
This is ticket out of here. He's going to Florida.
Also means her hoodoo is bullshit.
Yep. And Ada is out picking berries. I
Yeah,
don't
she's
think
picking berries, and she kind of hears Brava.
To be clear, on her own accord.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
No one has told her
Yeah,
to
no.
do this.
It wasn't
She's
like somebody
doing
was
this.
saying
I
you
think she's
better
probably
pick 'em.
baking a pie.
Yeah.
I
No,
think
no.
this is totally legit.
This was all her
As
idea.
Bobby says, yeah. There was no contract involved.
She lives by herself.
Yeah.
She does what she wants.
Yeah. And so then she comes back, and he's already gone because he's going to the rest of the Forrest Gump part, and I just kept running.
And
You
Ma-
half
and
expect him
Pa
to
is
return to the
sitting on
movie
the-
with a big beard at some point.
And Pa is sitting on the porch when we come back, and he has whittled a chain.
Yeah.
Like you
I was pretty impressed with
And
that.
I gotta say, this ties back
Holy
into to Ma going pretty hard on that Bible the night before. Like, these guys are getting into some stuff, man. He's making chains for the house.
this family for sure could have been in another movie where they captured somebody.
I think
like,
this
your
this
car-
Under
family.
the stairs.
Oh yeah,
action?
yeah,
No.
absolutely. Like, oh, the car broke down. No problem. You can come inside. Stay here.
I can see this family turning into the Buckners and Cabin in the Woods.
Oh, 100%.
The mutated
man.
zombie hillbilly family. I'm like, this is who they all become, right?
I mean, at some point they're gonna be like, well, Hitchhiker's here.
Oh God!
Might as
Hey,
well
tell
eat 'em.
Leatherface that we got guests over here.
Yeah, and they do it in a
This
calm
is
way. They're like,
Georgian Texas Chainsaw
well,
Massacre.
guess we got dinner.
Except
Not even any fanfare.
except
it would just be the slow hammer.
Their Leatherface is 12 and doesn't wear a mask. He's just running around going.
Oh yeah, you remember that part where JC just fucking saws the Airstream in half?
Would it have made you flinch at all?
No,
No, you'd have been like, that makes sense.
He comes in wearing the skin. I'm Carmelita now.
I'm a pretty dancing lady. He's in the mirror just dancing around.
Goodbye horses.
Yeah,
is playing.
horses. And they got the, if you walked in the house, would you be surprised if they had a pit in the middle and
At
JC
all.
goes, put the lotion on the skin, put it on the skin. It wouldn't have been, it would have been perfectly fucking fine, man.
So now JC decides to siege the Airstream,
Oh, wait.
screeching like a monkey and spitting water on Carmelita.
Before we gloss over it, the aunt does come back at one part to see the charm gone. Like she just
right. She picks it up
it's
off the
like she
ground.
almost goes like, was I supposed to be in this scene? Oh, guess not. And then that's it. Like we'll never see her again. She's just like, oh well,
This
guess
is
I'll
like
go pet White Phillip.
It's like Scatman forgetting what to do next in The Shining.
would
He's
be
like
like-
he got the distress call and then was like, was I supposed to do that?
This would have been amazing if the end of The Shining is after you see the frozen face, just comes back to Scatman and goes, hello?
The
Hello?
bear cat finally got there.
Like,
Sorry, I'm late.
he's just there alone,
Doc?
never got axed. Just, anybody here? Huh. All right.
Credits.
And then, in the style of this movie, we watch him ride back the whole way.
Yes.
The snowcat, the whole way.
But yeah, I guess that's a Gatorade for Aunt Ada.
Oh, and they definitely did.
Like, that's it. That's all she does in this movie. She gives him a
Some
charm
guy
and then
runs
He was
picks him
on
up off the
set for
ground.
one day.
Some guy runs out and gives Aunt Ada the Gatorade.
JC starts lapping it up off the ground.
Oh my God.
So, so like I said, then we get to where JC runs. He just suddenly barges into the Airstream and is spitting water
Yeah,
on
he's
her.
gleeking water all over
He
Carnival.
is like a
He's like-
fucking pinball at
He's
this point.
shooting,
He's bouncing around
he's
every
drinking big
bumper.
mouthfuls of water and just, like you said, gleeking. He's like spraying it between his teeth at her.
And
He's like
she's
missing
screaming.
a tooth, so it's going through the gap.
And it's almost like the actress was not prepared for this scene because she's just freaking out like, get this
It seems
fucking
like she's
monster
legit
away
mad
from
about
me.
it. Like they didn't. Like this is like a Marlon Brando situation where they didn't warn her so we can get the real reaction. And he.
Yikes! Last Tango in Paris.
That's problematic. That's gross. But anyway, and so she goes, "You little son of a bitch! We're gonna have your guts for dinner, every one of you country dummies!" And that's when Ma grabs her toxic Avenger mop. Is like, "That's it."
Yep. I'm gonna go clean up crime.
She threatened my son.
And then she kind of just pushes her with the end of the broom and then dumps a bucket of
she's
water, like I guess dirty water.
Yeah.
She starts whooping her ass, man. She's
Yeah.
like dragging her through the dirt and banging her knees around. And Dad is on the porch laughing.
Yeah, he's
Pa's
just
like,
there.
"Ha ha, yeah,
Little did you know these chains are for you, Carmelita.
you're going in the pit."
Got us another one. Got us another.
And then Brava returns.
I mean, this
after
would have been
his
a great
run-
end of the movie, is if they just opened this cellar and they put Carmelita in with the rest of the prisoners that this family has.
She just lands on a pile of bones.
Yeah. She's like,
This
"What's
is when
going
Simple
on?"
Brava, who didn't know about this part of his family, returns, and Carmelita's on one of those cannibal Holocaust boats, and he's just, "Oh no!" And then the credits roll over his
Go,
face.
We got Carmelita for dinner.
Oh,
I hope you like Spanish
Yeah,
food.
we
They're
eating
singing,
Spanish. We eating tapas tonight.
They're barbecuing and singing "Rolling in My Sweet Baby's Arms."
Yes.
They got the horse pulling on her.
Oh, so then, for no reason, Brava just shows back up.
he
because
goes-
he ran in a big circle.
Yeah, and he
right?
goes, "Stop! I love her."
And Ma's like, all right.
Yep.
And then nobody cares as Brava just goes and gets the money. And then the stuntman, he's like, Mama, I got the money. He's just
Yeah, and
digging,
Carmelita's
digging,
trying
digging.
to drive out, and she can't because her tires are all eaten.
Yep.
And everybody's just kind of watching JC as he's fucking bouncing around the walls. And then Stuntman and Naomi just show up.
Yeah.
And
And
they're like-
meanwhile, Brava's trying to give the money to Carmelita so she'll stay, and she's like swatting it out of his hands, going, "I just want to get out of here
Yeah, because what happens
before I get
is
eaten."
there's this very awkward scene where Stuntman brings back Naomi and then looks at the dad
He's
and
like
he gives
death
him a...
glaring at him.
But then he gives the dad eyes like, yeah, I did it.
He nods.
Which is like, what?
I took that as him. I didn't take it as I did it. I took him as going, "Sir,"
Yeah.
because
Oh, okay.
this is the redemption arc. So he gave him back his daughter,
Yeah.
which is the most heroic thing that happens in this movie.
I do love the moment where Naomi puts her hand on
And this is
Stuntman
like-
Dave's shoulder and he just brushes.
Oh,
it
yeah,
off.
he's like,
This
no.
is kinda
without
like-
breaking
No,
eye
no, no.
contact.
You know,
with the dad.
Swan and Mercy on the subway in The
Yes.
Warriors when she goes to fix her hair for the prom kids.
And he stops her.
For Bobby coming back for the prom. But yeah, he doesn't even look at her. He just takes her hand off his shoulder like, "You're not mine."
And then Carmelita gets on the bike. That's when Brava comes up with all the money and she swats it out of his hand.
And Pa grabs a shotgun and tells the kids to he grabs
he
the
tells-
shotgun as they drive off.
Well, he tells him, he goes, no, you get off my property.
Come back to the French fried taters. Mm.
And they're like, okay, bye. And then
Goodbye,
they drive
movie.
away. And then Brava and Naomi...
They tell Brother and Naomi to get back in the house because they're going to throw him in the pit. And instead, they clasp hands and they run off into the woods to just be in love together.
That's the end of the movie.
Yep.
Is Mom,
And
Pa
it ends with
just
them
look
going,
out on the
"Children!"
porch.
And then looking at each other and going, "Children?"
And then it's like, I guess they're gone.
And then,
Guess they're gonna go fuck.
That's the end of the
like
movie.
a crow on a June bug.
That's it.
So
that is 16.
Woo!
Which I gotta say, guys, when we're describing this movie, so much more exciting than watching it.
Yeah.
I guess I'll go first on recommendations. No, but here's the interesting thing, and this has happened before. And I gotta give you credit, Robbie, for having us watch this. While watching it, I was livid. I was having one of the worst times. Like I told you, Mike, I was like, this is Surf 2. This is Mob Boss. I am so fucking unhappy watching this movie.
It's like if Mob Boss was an art film.
But weirdly enough, talking about it with you fellas, I had a great time.
Yeah, no, it definitely seemed like...
Oh shit, this is an unbearable viewing experience that made for a really fun Grindbin.
Now, here's the thing about this movie. I would never recommend it, right? It's
happens.
horrible by yourself, but I imagine it would be even worse in a group because there's nothing
A lot of movies end up being
on.
better in a group, but this is worse because the few things that do happen are shit you don't want to be in a room with someone else watching.
Yeah. Look, guys, if you want to fall asleep and you want to like have a real good night's sleep, turn on this movie because it'll put you out in at least the first 10 minutes. You know, you'll drift off to that like a Junebug song. You know, it's like you're going in the Pirates of the Caribbean right through the first part. You know, and you're feeling nice and relaxed, and you could just drift off, and then there's that drop. You know, that's like what this whole movie is, though. You could just drift off and wake up nice and rested. Tanner, what do you think?
I cannot recommend it. I don't think it's not good, but it's also watchable, kind of. But I don't know why you would watch it.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing.
Who's this movie for?
Yeah, who's this movie for?
There's nothing like crazy enough that
Yeah.
happens
No,
where you're
'cause
like, you
it's
gotta
like-
check this out. You can't believe this. It's
It's
just
like
sorta-
somebody wanted to make like an art house movie, but they didn't have the story.
Yeah.
And then they also were like, but we also got to put it in a drive-in, and we got a week to make it.
Yeah.
So let me ask
It's
you
just the
guys.
most confusing, like all sorts of stuff put into one movie that nothing works. Like on paper, it was a horrible idea from the start. And it must have been like, all right, it's surviving. We'll get the money on basically the idea of like the underage.
And that's literally it. If you look at
Yeah.
the posters, it's just pictures of Naomi.
Yeah.
It's just like, you like her, boys? You want to see her take her clothes off?
But it's
like,
legal here
it's
in
gonna
North
happen
Dakota.
once.
It's all a fantasy.
Oh.
Your wildest fantasies.
What could have helped this movie? What's like one change you guys would have made to this film, aside from not making it at all?
Oh, the family being murderers.
You'd add that? The reveal at the end that they're cannibals?
Yo, yeah, that they're collecting people. Yeah. Like, maybe if it was a double turn. Like, Bravo was acting like a dumbass the whole movie so they could get Carmelita in and steal her shit. You know, that would be pretty fucking cool.
I was watching this. I did kind of feel like there's kind of like something interesting you could do riffing on Get Out with this movie. Because, yeah, if Brother was in on this weird plot.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, oh, yeah.
It was all designed to get them some people.
Yeah.
Like, instead of the other way around.
That'd have been
like,
really
they
interesting.
rob the
The
shit
double
out.
turn.
Like, they take Carmelita, they rob her, they take her Airstream and everything, and they sell it. That would have been great.
Yeah.
And then they feed her to JC.
Uh-huh. Yeah, they don't even have an alligator or anything like that.
They just have
feed her
him
to
out
Jason.
back on a
Just
chain.
gnawing on a strip.
I'd have leaned into the witch thing with Aunt Ada. I think that if suddenly in that last scene, the coven descended upon the property to save this family from these two grifters, like they go to leave and then you're not leaving. The goat is blocking the road.
Well, how do you guys think Bobby and DeVito? Yeah, I'm sure you've heard that sound, right?
Yeah.
How do you think they would fit into this?
Well, I think that by now they'd have caught wind that you know, a good way to get chicks is especially ones that don't have any point of comparison between you and other men is to do some work at the carnival. So I envision seeing the straight arrow trying to get up on the walls of that velodrome.
I was gonna say you better say the straight arrow driving on the
you
barrel
bet your
walls
ass!
and
But of
not a
course,
motorcycle.
it's the straight arrow, so you know he immediately rolls it.
Or it just goes right through the wall.
And then you see, you look up and you see Brava knocked out on the ground, and you hear, "Bobby, I got the money."
You know, I think because this is a carnival type of situation, and they're going all over the country. I feel like this carnival would end up in Malibu at some point, right?
yeah.
And I feel like it's not a big carnival. You know, it's not like LA County Fair type of thing. But I feel like it's a parking lot carnival, and I feel like that pizza lot had a lot of space, and they just set up right outside there. And Carmelita's doing a little strip show, and she goes, "Oh, look at this kid! Just got a new van. He must be loaded."
Oh,
and
so he's the new Mark?
Yeah, she thinks Bobby's the new Mark, right? Until she goes in and she realizes, "Oh no, I made a terrible mistake.
I need to get out of here."
And yeah, that's it. That's it.
So mine is very similar to both of those, where Bobby and DeVito are out on the road in the van, and they're hard up on money, and they hear the local carnival has 2 new openings. So they go, and the carny operator tells them, "All right, got 2 jobs. One's a stuntman, one's a stripper. You 2 work it out." And the next scene is just DeVito.
DeVito's like, "Well, I
Carmelita's
kind of
mask.
have boobs already, so I think
he
I
has
should
Carmelita's wig on. He's like, "I'm a sexy lady from Madrid."
He's pulling the corset, trying to get the push-up action.
from Madrid."
Oh, man.
Spicy as he's dancing on the stage.
Oh, that's chilling. Yeah. That's harrowing.
Play Goodbye Horses. He's stuck in it.
So thank you for joining us.
Yeah, this has been fun.
This was a great episode.
Robbie,
Really
thanks for recommending this movie. Actually, we had a good
Seriously.
time talking about it. Don't
Man,
watch it.
It's
but-
not the gift we wanted, but it's the gift we needed right now.
Yeah, so... Tanner, why don't you tell everybody where they can find you?
You can find me on my website, buymichaeltanner.com, BY, buymichaeltanner.com, where you can buy my graphic novels and comic books, including Strike Team, Codename Diamond Force.
Which I understand the cover was
The
based
cover is an homage to the recent Grindbin episode that I'm not on for 2019 after the Fall of New York.
You know, Tanner, with the magic of editing, we can go back and put you in the episode.
We're going to go back and record a common Tanner.
Yeah. Why
I
don't
will
you
be
just...
commentating on your
Just
episode.
you angry listening to the episode.
Here you
in real
go.
time.
I'll George Lucas this shit, okay? You listen to the episode, record the comments you would have made, and then I'll just edit them
It'll
in.
be the special edition.
Yeah,
I
it'll
like
be a
it.
special edition of 2019.
That'll be a special mini bin.
Yeah, and it's
We're
just
gonna
like...
release the full length episode with the commentary.
just like the dance number in Return of the Jedi.
Jedi Rocks.
Yeah. Which, by the way, I was watching that the
Yum,
other
yum.
day on TV, and Molly forgot about that part. I'm like, "Oh, this is where the dance number is." She's like, "What fucking dance number? What are you talking about?" I'm like, "Yeah, just wait.
Just you
just
wait.
wait."
Yeah, that's a good part with Yowza, the Yuzum. I don't remember the lyrics.
That's as close
That's
as it
pretty much
gets. Yeah. Yeah, get that 2019 cover, you know? I love it. A lot of our patrons got that.
Yeah, they got
Wow, yeah.
everyone about a year or about 9 months ago, I guess. That was
Yeah.
a Patreon perk.
Yeah, even all the way in Australia.
Yeah,
David got
yeah.
one. So.
Wow, that's awesome. Not a lot of people got a copy of that, but every last one of them went out and started a band.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Bobby, why don't you tell everybody where they can find you?
Well, as always, you can like us on Facebook, hate us on Twitter, be indifferent to our Instagram, check us out on iTunes and Google Play and everywhere fine podcasts are given away.
With the full catalog now
With
up.
the full catalog now back in stock. Check out some of the early days, the demos.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Libsyn, for trying to blame me for it.
Yeah,
I
that was
told
good.
him because everybody complained, like, how come I can't get the old episodes? So I sent the support a message, and then they sent back to go, "Oh yeah, you made some setting. That's only 100." I didn't make shit.
But I've actually, since they've reinstated the original 40 or so episodes that had been missing, I'm going back over them episode by episode lately, and man, that's good stuff back then. The
So you can
early
hear-
stuff,
you can hear
before you added those
tentacles.
other goons to the show.
You can hear the infamous Tentacles episode now.
And I gotta say, Mike, you had more hope in your voice.
Oh well,
You sounded way less defeated than you do these
that's
days.
just time.
The passage of time, the grindman grinds you down over
Yeah.
time, man.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, go back and check those out. Go and subscribe to us on iTunes, and if you like what we're doing, give us 5 stars. We haven't
Yeah,
talked about
that'd
that
be
in a
nice.
while, but yeah, it's what'd you say, man?
I said that'd be nice.
Wouldn't it be?
This is the most like dour, whimsical outro I've ever heard. Like, it's kind of sad, kind of fun.
Yeah.
That's
like,
the
oh,
feeling
that'd
we're
be
going
nice.
for here.
So we
on
want-
The Grind.
how are we gonna end on a
2018, isn't it?
cliffhanger,
Like
guys?
I said about Mike, used to have hope in his voice. He's like, I guess, yeah, that'd
Yeah.
be great. No one's gonna do it.
A lot
though.
of people used to have hope.
But yeah, just get the word out about us to your friends if you like what we're doing. And
I like, by the way, that Bobby just segued nicely into a whole area of the podcast we just cut out for all the listeners. Just so you know, Bobby did a great segue back into the live recording.
He's a pro.
Yeah. So why don't you segue into another one for us?
Jesus. Oh, what haven't I covered yet? Our Patreon.
Oh, yeah, $2 a month. You get a weekly bonus show, the Mini Bin. We're covering a lot of Freddy's Nightmares coming up.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a big plan for 2019. Kind of starting a show within a show. We're going to go episode by episode through historic trash fire Freddy's Nightmares.
Yeah, and listen to our recent episode where we brought back Holmes and Yo-Yo, because one of the stars from Holmes and Yo-Yo is appearing on a Grindbin movie in the month of January.
If I'm not mistaken, I think it's the first time that a Mini Bin All-Star upgraded to Grindbin All-Star.
And he deserves it, because he's
absolutely
great.
So yeah, that's all we got. Thanks for joining us once again, and brother, start the horse.
Hey, Bobby, I got the money.
Dad, I made the team. But you're a hooker.
Get that goddamn thing out of your mouth.
I don't know. Spooky got no real rhythm. We're gonna play a little game, baby.
I just love funny games. Get a little girl all hot and horny.
This is Los Angeles.
Oh, the hell with women's live. I'm horny. And maybe Daddy would decide to kill himself because he couldn't get it up anymore. What a shame.
It's for jacking off. Come on, just step on the gas before we get creamed. And